Chapter 451. Teen Wanner couldn't hold back her curiosity. Su-Yun, I can believe you when you say that you brought the people back from the Golden Triangle, but these 3 cars, you definitely couldn't have driven them back by yourself. Who helped you? I don't mean anything else. I just want to thank them for helping you. You guys have done a great thing. Really, I'm a little incoherent. Protecting their privacy was the best reward for them. Su-Yun smiled. The rest is up to you guys. If there's nothing else to say, I'll leave first. Otherwise, the Shenzhen police will ask too much after seeing me. You know I don't like to deal with the police. Chunwei heard this and smiled awkwardly. But what could he say? After all, Su-Yun had helped him so much. It was better to swallow some words. Oh right, there's one more thing. Su-Yun turned to Chunwei and said, Chief Chen, it's best to have your own people during the interrogation. They have people in the Shenzhen police. I don't know who the mole in the police station is, but I've recorded a number. It's the phone record of Yi Fala talking to him. I think this will be an important clue for you guys. Teen Wanner had already taken out a pen and paper from her pocket. Su-Yun quickly wrote down a line of numbers and said in a low voice, Don't beat the grass and scare the snake. Just know it yourself. The most important evidence is to get this person from Yi Fala's mouth. Otherwise, a phone call won't be enough to cover the crime. Wanner, don't be too impulsive. Teen Wanner nodded. She knew that Su-Yun was doing this for her own good. I know. Don't worry. I'm not who I used to be. This time, you knocked me out and sent me back to Hudong. I didn't fall out with you. I know what I'm doing and I know how to control my emotions. Chief Chen gave me a long lesson. I've learned a lot. Okay, I should go. Before Su-Yun left, he took one last look at Yi Fala. Along the way, Yi Fala's empty eyes suddenly had a look of awakening. She stared at Su-Yun's eyes without blinking, as if she wanted to express something, but Su-Yun couldn't understand. Su-Yun only hoped that she could cooperate well, so that this heroin cleansing could end smoothly. If Yi Fala didn't cooperate, they wouldn't be able to dig deeper into Shenzhen's drug network. Su-Yun didn't know what to say. Although he didn't do anything wrong, he still said, I'm sorry. This may be the last time we see each other. I hope you can clearly recognize your own crimes. Yi Fala smiled. This won't be the last time we see each other. Su-Yun, I promise we will meet again. Su-Yun didn't say anything. He stared at Yi Fala's eyes. He couldn't tell if she was provoking him or trying to express something. She was just stating a simple statement, an ordinary statement, as if she was telling Su-Yun that they would really meet again. However, Su-Yun didn't believe that with just 800,000 grams of heroin, it was enough to prove that they would never meet again. Goodbye. Su-Yun didn't pay attention to Yi Fala anymore. He turned around and said to Teen Wanner and Chunwei. Before he left, he thought of something. He took out the Porsche Qian's car key from his pocket. If you want to confiscate her property, this car is parked downstairs at Xingkai Hotel. Just as Chunwei was about to take the key, Yi Fala suddenly said, This car's license doesn't have my name on it. Su-Yun, I told you that this is a gift from me. This car's name is yours. If you don't believe me, you can go and see for yourself. Your photo and ID number, I saw it in your wallet when I went to find you that night. This car is yours, not mine. No one has the right to confiscate it. Su-Yun nodded. But I don't like it. What should I do? Teen Wanner stared at Su-Yun. Then you can drive it away and sell it. If the car's license is in your name, then we really have no right to confiscate it. Unless you both admit that this car was given to you by her. I admit it. Su-Yun. Yi Fala smiled. But I won't admit it. Because I know you will drive it back to see me. Yi Fala, if you can confess and cooperate, maybe you will be sentenced to a reprieve. But even if you don't get shot immediately, do you think I will come and send you off? After Su-Yun finished speaking, he smiled bitterly and shook his head. Forget it, I'll just drive it away. Anyway, Chunwei and the others didn't say that they had to keep it for him. After all, they all felt that Su-Yun had done so many things, and the police couldn't give him any reward. Getting a luxury car was not bad. Su-Yun held the car key in his hand and quickly disappeared from everyone's sight. He couldn't wait to go back to Hudong. After driving out of Xingkai Hotel, Su-yin directly ran to the gas station and filled up a tank of gas. Without stopping, he rushed to the highway. There was still time, so he could definitely reach Hudong before the afternoon. On the way, he called Ruan Qingshuang. When she heard that Su-yin would be back today, Ruan Qingshuang was naturally very happy. She asked him what he wanted to eat tonight. Su-yin didn't have any requirements for food. He just asked Ruan Qingshuang to inform Chang to wait for him at the Medicinal Cuisine Hotel before he returned to Hudong City. He said that he had something to talk to him about. Ruan Qingshuang thought that Su-yin wanted to invite all of them for dinner, so she not only invited Chang, but also the 3 tigers of Nancheng. Like Su-yin, Qianfeng, Han Zhan, and the other 4 were also on the way back. In the era of high-speed rail, the 5 of them bought tickets at the Xinjiang high-speed rail station and got on the train 5 minutes later. The speed of high-speed rail was very fast. They could travel more than 1,300 kilometers in less than 4 hours. It was 1/3 of the distance Su-yin drove back to Hudong City, but it was faster than Su-yin. When they arrived at the entrance of the headquarters, Han Zhan couldn't help but swallow a mouthful of saliva. He waved the curtain wrap thing in his hand at them. Are you all ready? Who still hasn't eaten? Hurry up and eat. If you're punished by being grounded for 3 days without food, you won't starve to death. We're all full. Hua Xiaolu made a solemn vow. With the things I've eaten, let alone 3 days, I can even last 7 days. Qianfeng laughed and said, I'm afraid you'll die of thirst. Haha. Do you think your bladder is so powerful that it can circulate your water for 7 days and still be able to drink? Gong Sunlong also laughed when he heard that. Hua Xiaolu was completely speechless. These 2 guys were too disgusting. They were thinking too much. Unless they were forcing them to die, they wouldn't give them water, right? Fan Shuanger frowned. Aren't you guys disgusting? Are you done? Shadow Dragon is already here. How can you guys still laugh? Their expressions began to become serious. They couldn't joke anymore because after the announcement, the person on duty had already informed the current acting captain of the Dragon Fury team, Hua Leitang, also known as Shadow Dragon. Seeing Hua Leitang walk towards them step by step, the expressions on everyone's faces changed into the same expression. Let's go. Hua Leitang didn't say anything. He picked them up and immediately took them in. The few of them knew very well that this was the calm before the storm. Finally, after arriving at the instructor's office of the Dragon Fury team, Hua Leitang's face became serious. His whole person looked gloomy and dark. He didn't say anything for more than 10 minutes. Shadow Dragon, if you have something to say, just say it. Don't be like this. It's not good for your health. Qianfeng tried to ease the atmosphere. Hua Leitang was angry. He slapped the table and stood up. Azure Dragon, I know you've always been dissatisfied with me. But let me tell you, please call me Captain from now on. Whether I can convince you or not, I'm still the captain. This is the work arrangement of the higher-ups for me. Yes. Qianfeng snorted in his heart. The more Hua Leitang acted like this, the more he was dissatisfied. Acting captain. Whatever you say is right. Your words are orders. But you should also explain the work arrangement of the higher-ups clearly. It's acting captain, not captain. That's all I have to say. Hua Leitang was speechless by Qianfeng's words for a long time. Captain, Azure Dragon always speaks like this. Don't mind him. Han Zhan was older after all. He was more open-minded about some things. He also knew that it wasn't easy for Hua Leitang to be the acting captain. After all, he was taking over from Su-yin. No matter who said this, they probably wouldn't be able to convince everyone. After all, everyone only recognized Su-yin as their boss. Hua Leitang sneered. You don't have to comfort me. All of you can ignore me. I know that you're not the only one who doesn't want to submit to me. Black Dragon, to be honest, you don't want to submit to me either. Needless to say, the rest of you will definitely not submit to me because the only captain in your hearts is Yanlong, right? Yes. Qianfeng answered without hesitation. Hua Leitang nodded. Yes, very right. Then who the F***ck thought about me? I'm not satisfied with myself either. The only captain in my heart is Yanlong. I only have one boss in my heart. Who has thought about my feelings? Do you think that I like being the acting captain very much? Do you think that I'm doing this because I want the Dragon Fury team to be mine? Do I want that? I don't King want that. I also hope that you, Azure Dragon, can be the acting captain Black Dragon. I can also be dissatisfied with you. I can also slander you in private with my brothers. I feel even better. Huoletang had never said these words before. No one expected Huoletang's inner world to be so tangled. To be honest, Qianfeng didn't feel good after hearing Huoletang's words. He had slandered Huoletang many times in private, and he had also gone against Huoletang many times in public. In any case, his dissatisfaction was written all over his face. I'm sorry, Shadow Dragon. Since Su Yan left, this was the first time Qianfeng apologized to Huoletang. Huoletang was stunned. Huoletang took a deep breath. We're all brothers. There's nothing to be sorry about. I also understand your thoughts. Although I don't know the reason why you guys went out this time. I can roughly guess that it must be because of the boss. Otherwise, you wouldn't have violated the rules. The few of them were stunned. They all lowered their heads and didn't say anything. Chapter 452. Su Yan's departure from the Dragon Fury team was something that no one wanted to happen. But life had to go on, training had to go on, and everything had to go on. Therefore, someone had to stand up and carry the banner of the Dragon Fury team, so that its glory could continue. Someone had to bear such great pressure. But no one had thought that they would have to bear it. Wang Yi had never thought of forcing anyone to bear this pressure. He had been waiting for someone to take the initiative to stand up. He knew very well that only someone who took the initiative to stand up could truly bear the pressure, and do a good job of everything after Su Yan's departure. And Huoletang was the person who stood up after thinking it through. When Wang Yi announced Huoletang as the acting captain, no one in the entire Dragon Fury team spoke up to support him. Everyone had strong opinions about Huoletang. Everyone felt that he was challenging Su Yan's authority by doing so. Everyone felt that he was heartless and wanted to replace Su Yan. They all felt that he wanted to replace Su Yan and advocated for power and position. They felt that he was disrespecting Su Yan. However, only he knew that everything he did was the exact opposite. It was because he respected Su Yan more. It was because he didn't want Su Yan's steel team to collapse after he left. He wanted to protect the most important thing to Su Yan. Therefore, he could only stand up with a bad reputation and make everyone feel that the Dragon Fury team was still there. Regardless of whether other people understood or not, he chose to do this. He did this so that when Su Yan returned one day, he could still see the Dragon Fury team, and not a broken and dispirited team. This was Huoletang's idea, but how many people really understood it? As time passed, Han Zhan and a few of the older youths seemed to slowly understand his good intentions. However, Qianfeng and Hua Xiaolu, these young and impetuous youths, were getting less and less convinced by him. Huoletang finally had the chance to vent all the unhappiness in his heart. He felt as if he had been released from a heavy burden. He didn't expect that Qianfeng's apology would make him feel that everything he had done was worth it. His biggest wish was to be understood. He was very grateful for this apology. He was grateful for Qianfeng's understanding and recognition. One apology was enough. I hope you can treat me as a brother. I'm really angry that you didn't tell me about this. Huoletang said. I really miss Boss too. I also want to complain to him, but you guys don't give me a chance. Han Zhan also chuckled. We don't dare to take the risk. If you really don't let us go because of your principles, then we'll be dumbfounded. Don't deny it. You're too principled. If it weren't for your strong principles, we might really dare to ask for your permission. Huoletang nodded. He seemed to have realized his own problem, but he shook his head again. It depends on what kind of situation it is. You guys are usually so disciplined. When it comes to boss, no one can stay calm. Me too. As they were chatting, Wang Yi suddenly pushed the door open and entered. In an instant, the air in the entire room froze. No one dared to speak anymore. The energetic little old man in front of them scanned everyone's gaze with his bright little eyes. Everyone couldn't help but lower their heads after meeting his gaze. It seems like the atmosphere is pretty good. Very good. Wang Yi snorted and chuckled. How was it? Did you guys learn anything from this trip? Who wants to talk to me first? Who wants to talk to me first? The few of them lowered their heads. No one dared to say anything. This kind of thing was a very serious violation of discipline in an ordinary team. Not to mention that they were members of the special forces. This kind of private trip was a very serious violation of discipline. Even if they were expelled, it wouldn't be too much. Huo Leitang suddenly stood up and walked to Wang Yi. I'm sorry, master. This is all my fault. Before they left, they asked for permission from me. I allowed them to go out on their own. They didn't even know that their actions were wrong. If you want to punish someone, punish me. It's all because of me. Suddenly, an innocent person had taken the blame. Of course, the others couldn't hold it in anymore. Qianfeng was a loyal friend. Although he would go against Huo Leitang because he became the team leader, he wouldn't let others take the blame for him. This has nothing to do with Shadow Dragon. I'm the mastermind. Qianfeng thought. Master, if you want to punish someone, punish me. Actually, the situation was like this. Han Zhan and Gong Sunlong also fought to speak. Hua Xiaolu and Fan Shuang also began to take the blame. Everyone fought to take the blame and didn't want anyone else to be punished. Wang Yi suddenly circulated his qi, and an invisible pressure burst out. Suddenly, everyone in the room stopped moving. No one expected their master to use pressure to suppress them. Don't say anything. Everyone is talking at once. It's so noisy that my head is going to explode. If you want to blame someone, blame that bastard Su Yun. If it weren't for him, you wouldn't have acted so recklessly. Wang Yi snorted. But I also believe that he won't lead you to do anything wrong. Now all of you are fighting. Are you trying to take the credit? Credit? Everyone looked at each other. They really couldn't believe that there was any credit to be taken for this matter. Wang Yi walked straight forward and took the thing wrapped in the curtain cloth from Han Zhan's hand. He gently put it on the table and opened it. The bronze Buddha had appeared in front of everyone's eyes. Everyone couldn't help but light up. The Buddha's aura seemed to shoot out in an instant in the room. This thing definitely has spiritual energy. Do you know what this is? Wang Yi smiled slightly and didn't mean to blame them at all. It was the lost Buddha head of Wanfo Mountain. Hehehe, I really didn't expect that one day it would appear in our Huaxia's land. This is our country's priceless treasure. Like the bronze beast of the zodiac, it is a priceless treasure left by our ancestors. This time, you went to the Golden Triangle to retrieve the Buddha head, and completed the mission perfectly. It really makes me proud. Wait a minute. What did Wang Yi mean? They looked at each other and couldn't help but want to reach out and touch Wang Yi's forehead to see if he had a fever. What are you looking at? Wang Yi shouted. Your secret mission this time is over. You don't have to pretend anymore. I asked you to secretly carry out this mission, didn't I? Han Zhan, who suddenly understood, immediately stood at attention and saluted. Yes, Master. We have completed the mission you gave us. What else do you need us to do? Everyone understood what he meant. Even Wang Yi was on their side. If he were to take on this responsibility, they would not have to worry about any punishment. This was because Wang Yi was the deputy squadron leader of the Divine Dragon Brigade. He had the authority to assign any one of them. He had the authority to assign any of the Divine Dragon Brigade's teams to carry out any mission. Wang Yi and the others looked at each other and smiled. What else can I give you? Of course. I will hold a commendation ceremony for you. This is the glory of every member of the Dragon Fury team. Ha ha ha, of course, although the person who contributed the most isn't here. I believe that he will be happier to see you get the commendation than himself. Everyone raised their heads and looked at the group of photos hanging on the wall. Each photo was the reward for the group mission. Su Yun's smile was always so bright. Maybe he wasn't in the photos this time, but everyone believed that he was still the soul of the Dragon Fury team. He was the Dragon Soul. After driving for a few hours, the tired Su Yun finally arrived at Hudong City's Medicinal Cuisine Hotel. Dan Jiahao saw a black Porsche Cayenne parked arrogantly in front of the hotel. He was about to ask when he saw Su Yun get out of the car. He shouted excitedly and rushed up. Brother Yun, where did you get this? Wow, that's a huge fortune. Su Yun threw the car keys to Dan Jiahao. Help me park the car. Are Chang and the others here yet? They are waiting for you inside. Dan Jiahao took the car keys and got in the car excitedly to park the car. He was also a car lover. Unfortunately, Dan Hongning hadn't retired the Audi Q5 he was driving now, so Dan Jiahao didn't have a car to drive for a while. He didn't have enough money to buy a good car, and he didn't like ordinary cars. Su Yun strode into the hotel. At this time, everyone heard Dan Jiahao shouting "Brother Yun," and hurried out to greet him. Chang and the three tigers of Nanqing came out first, followed by Ruanqing Shuang. Cho Yun held Guogua in her arms. Everyone smiled brightly when they saw Su Yun. Before Guogua could ask her father if he had learned how to sing "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star," Su Yun hooked his finger at Chang. "Chang, come here." Chang grinned and walked forward, thinking that Su Yun had something to say to him. "Brother, it must have been hard for you to come back. Let's eat first. Sister Shuang has prepared all your favorite dishes." Quang dash. Before Chang could finish his words, Su Yun angrily kicked Chang's lower abdomen. Qiangzi's entire body flew horizontally and fell heavily to the ground with a plop. Su Yun's kick was really merciless. Only Su Yun knew if he had held back. If he hadn't, all the bones in Chang's body would have been broken. Su Yun still didn't have the heart. Everyone was stunned. For a moment, no one dared to breathe. In the lobby of the Medicinal Cuisine Hotel, Chang awkwardly got up and said blankly, "Brother, what are you doing? I cough. Are you trying to kill me?" Ruanqing Shuang took Guogua from Cho Yun's arms and wanted to cover Guogua's eyes with her hands. Cho Yun and the three tigers of Nanqing didn't say anything to stop her. Everyone knew that Su Yun wouldn't lose his temper for no reason. Moreover, he put Chang in an important position, so he wouldn't treat Chang like this for no reason. Su Yun didn't say anything. He walked in front of Chang and suddenly kicked Chang more than 10 meters away. Dan Jiahao, who had parked his car and walked in, was shocked. Why was Brother Yun so angry today? Chang stopped and coughed again. In the end, he coughed up blood. There were dark circles under his eyes, his fingers were trembling, and his body couldn't stop shaking. Chapter 453. Su Yun was really angry this time. Everyone could see that the three tigers of Southern City were looking at Ruanqing Shuang. It seemed that this matter could only be solved by Ruanqing Shuang. However, Ruanqing Shuang was also a little hesitant. She really had never seen Su Yun so angry. She didn't know how Chang had offended him. "Speak." Su Yun was still in a state of rage. That angry look made Chang couldn't help but feel terrified. He had begun to understand why Su Yun was so angry, but he didn't dare to admit it. He really didn't dare to admit it. Su Yun suddenly raised his foot and kicked again. Chang was kicked and rolled a few times. He lay in front of everyone and breathed heavily. This kind of pain was already at the edge of his body's limit. As long as Su Yun increased his strength at any time, it was possible to kill him with one kick. Ruanqing Shuang was Ruanqing Shuang after all. Her heart softened. Finally, she stepped in front of Su Yun. After all, Chang had known them for so long. He did everything without complaint. She really couldn't bear to see Chang being beaten by Su Yun like this. "Su Yun, that's enough. What kind of matter must be solved in this way? Why can't we all sit down and talk about it? Why do you have to beat people? It's enough. Even if Chang made a big mistake, you should be appeased, right?" Su Yun frowned. Ruanqing Shuang's intervention made him a little embarrassed for a while. However, Su Yun had to stick to his principles. If he didn't make Chang remember this time, he was afraid that his life would really be wasted. Thinking of this, Su Yun could only be ruthless. "Sister Shuang, don't interfere in this matter. This is a problem that must be solved between Chang and me," Su Yun said. "Just now I was just beating him on behalf of his parents. If it had been for myself, I would have killed him long ago. In my eyes, the life of a cripple is meaningless." "Cripple? What did Chang do?" The three tigers of South City looked at each other. "Even if he is unfilial to his parents, we should talk to him nicely." Ruanqing Shuang misunderstood. "If Chang dares to mistreat his parents and not support the elderly, you don't have to hit him, I'll hit him. I'll talk to him about this. If you really beat him to death, then he won't be able to fulfill his filial piety." Chang finally opened his mouth. Seeing that Su Yun and Ruanqing Shuang were so nice to him, one was soft-hearted and felt sorry for him. while the other was exasperated. He really regretted what he had done. Sister Shuang, don't worry about me. Even if Brother Yun beats me to death today, I deserve it. Chang was very serious. I know I was wrong. A mistake is a mistake. No matter how Brother Yun punishes me, it's fine. I admit it. I have absolutely no complaints. Brother Yin, I just want you to leave me some face. Su Yin was also heartbroken. Although Chang didn't accompany him through life and death like the brothers of Dragon's Fury, ever since he knew Chang had always followed him. Just that time when he led people to the dog farm of the Four Wolves gang to help him, it was enough for Su Yin to treat him as a brother. Su Yin took a deep breath. Chang, it's not that I don't want to leave you some face. Face is earned by yourself. Since you did it, don't be afraid of losing face. Chang gritted his teeth and buried his face deep in the ground. I was wrong. Brother. I'll change. I'll definitely change. I beg you to forgive me. Please don't say any more. I'll change, I'll really change. I won't dare to do it again. You don't even have the courage to admit it. How can I believe you? Su Yin took a deep breath. He was really exasperated. I want you to admit it personally. How much do you have on you? Give me all of it. No, not even a little bit. Chang said nervously. Su Yin didn't say anything. He turned around and walked out. Everyone looked at each other. The three tigers of Southern City seemed to have realized what had happened. They swallowed their saliva and didn't dare to say anything. They were secretly glad that they didn't touch those things. Cho Yun seemed to be able to see most of it. She shook her head helplessly and turned to leave. She knew that Su Yin would never give up halfway. He had a way to make Chang quit completely. Wan Qingshuang was still confused. She didn't understand what Su Yin was doing. Su Yin walked out of the hall and went straight to Chang's Audi. Before Chang could shout, Su Yin had already smashed the side window of the driver's seat with a punch. He was too lazy to ask Chang for the car keys. He didn't plan to keep the car either. Chang had probably used a lot of heroin in this car. Su Yin was worried that he would think of it when he drove alone in the future. To prevent a drug addict from getting addicted again, he had to stop him from doing anything related to drugs. Soon, Su Yin found a bag of white powder in the storage space under the center control armrest in Chang's car. When Su Yin came back with the bag of white powder, Wan Qingshuang had never seen it before, but she had seen it on TV. She finally vaguely understood why Su Yin was so angry. It turned out that Chang had touched something that shouldn't have been touched. For a moment, she didn't know if she should speak again. Under the dilemma of both sides, she could only turn around and leave with Guogua in her arms. Guogua, the little adult, also knew that it was best for her not to speak at this time, because her father was now angry, although they had already guessed what Chang had done. The three tigers of Southern City couldn't help but take a deep breath when they saw Su Yin throw such a big bag of white powder on the ground. There were 50 grams of heroin. This was enough to sentence you. Su Yin said coldly. Chang, I'll ask you one last time. Did you participate in the trafficking? Tell me the truth. Chang shook his head vigorously. No, I really didn't. Brother Yin, I was just confused for a moment. I know I shouldn't have touched it. I'll quit, I'll definitely quit. It was easier said than done. Su Yin pointed to the bag of white heroin on the ground and said to the three tigers of Southern City, Dan Jiahao, and the others, he's an example today. If anyone dares to touch it in the future, don't blame me for being hostile. People who don't even have this little self-control are not worthy of being my brother. Do you understand? They understood. The few of them nodded, and no one dared to say a word more. Chang's tears were about to come out. Brother, forgive me once, just this once. I swear, I'll never touch it. Really. I beg you, brother, I'll listen to you in the future. Su Yin picked Chang up from the ground. I'll give you a chance. When Qin Waner comes back, you turn yourself into her and tell her everything. Tell her who sold you the heroin. Tell her everything. Then take the initiative to apply for detoxification. If you can do it, come out and see me in the future. If you can't do it, then get out as far as you can. Don't let me see you in Hudong City again. I've done my best. It's up to you now. Brother, I can quit without going to detoxification. Really? I swear. Chang's heart sank when he heard that he was going to detoxification. Su Yin was very insistent. I won't believe the words of a drug addict. Chang, I'll emphasize one last time. Either you go to detoxification or get out of Hudong City. It's your choice. After that, Su Yin took the car keys from Chang's waist and threw them to Dan Hongning. Go and sell his car. Search for more of this stuff in the car. If there is, throw it away, boil it, and do whatever you want with it. Dan Hongning nodded and did not ask for any reason. He would do whatever Brother Yin asked him to do. Chang, make a choice. Su Yin. Chang bit his lower lip until it bled. Brother, I'm wrong. I admit my mistake. I'll turn myself in. I'll go to detoxification. I'll listen to you. I just hope that you'll give me a chance to forgive me. Su Yin finally smiled for the first time since returning to Hudong City. I believe you. After you come out, you'll still be my brother. This scene was quite aphrodisiac. Anyway, the three tigers of Southern City felt quite uncomfortable. They had played with Changzi for so long, and no one wanted to see him squat inside. It was conceivable that Su Yin was even more uncomfortable now. Once they put themselves in his shoes and thought about it, everyone understood that it was not easy for their brothers. Life was like this. It was full of all kinds of variables. But as long as you were willing to solve it, there was nothing that couldn't be solved. Chang could definitely quit his drug addiction. Su Yin believed in him because he saw the determination in Chang's eyes. The welcoming dinner prepared for Su Yin in the evening was over. Su Yin ate a few mouthfuls of food and hurried upstairs. He really felt tired. Ever since he went to Xinjiang and came back from the Golden Triangle, the past 10 days had made him physically and mentally exhausted. He almost didn't sleep well at night. Lying on his bed, Su Yin could smell the fresh sunshine on the sheets. It seemed that even if he didn't come back, Wan Qingshuang would still help him dry his quilt and clean his room every day. There seemed to be a lot of things to deal with, so Su Yin hoped that he could spend some time with Wan Qingshuang while he was here. He promised Zhuo Meiyan that he would take over Sky Entertainment Group. But now, Zhuo Meiyan misunderstood him. How to explain this was also a problem. He was afraid that it would be difficult to deal with Zhuo Meiyan's bad temper. He could only do it through Feng Ying. He hoped that Feng Ying would help him when the time came. Also, how was Tangjiu's artificial river reconstruction project at the east of Hudong? Su Yin didn't have time to ask Lu Feng about the river reconstruction project because of Chang's incident. If the Tang group had started construction, he really had to go and take a look. Although it was meaningless for him to go, he still had to do something to save his face. Just as Su Yin was lying on the bed thinking, Wan Qingshuang knocked on the door. Before Su Yin could say anything, she opened the door and walked in. She was holding a bowl of cooked bird's nest in her hand. Seeing the tiredness on Su Yin's face, she couldn't help but feel bad. Did you not sleep well recently? Your eyes are a little swollen. Really? Su Yin really didn't notice it. But since he started going to the Golden Triangle and came back 6 days ago, he really didn't sleep well. At most, he closed his eyes for a while in the car. Now that he heard what Wan Qingshuang said, he really felt that his eyelids couldn't open. It seemed that he was really tired. Quick, drink it while it's hot. Wan Qingshuang brought the bird's nest porridge to Su Yin. Su Yin obediently reached out his hand to take it. The moment he held the bowl, his hand touched Wan Qingshuang's hand. An inexplicable charm and gentleness swirled in his heart, as if the bottle of a young man's first love had been opened. This was not a feeling that Su Yin would usually feel. He had never thought that he would feel such a throbbing heartbeat. Sit down. Wan Qingshuang laughed. She always felt that Su Yin's current state was like a guest. Su Yin just wanted to sit down, but he stood up again. I think I'd better take a shower first. I haven't taken a shower for 7 days. Su Yin didn't say anything more. It was really not easy. He hadn't taken a shower for 7 days, and was soaked in the cold water dungeon in the Golden Triangle for several hours. He didn't even dry his body before rushing back. It didn't matter if he was in his own room. But this was Wan Qingshuang's room. Su Yin was really embarrassed to sit down, for fear that he would dirty her quilt. Haven't taken a shower for 7 days? Wan Qingshuang was really shocked. What have you been doing? You're so busy that you don't even have time to take a shower. Alas, I really don't know what to say. You're not a child anymore. Do you still need me to remind you to take a shower? Okay, go and take a shower. Soo-yeon stood up and was about to go out. I'll go back to my room and take a shower. You can take a shower here. After you're done, you can go straight to bed. Leave your clothes here. I'll help you wash them in a while. Wan Qingshuang got up and pulled Soo-yeon. I'll help you get your pajamas. Don't worry so much. Hurry up and clean yourself. This conversation was like a young couple living together. Soo-yeon was really completely immersed in the land of warmth and tenderness. He didn't know if Yifala had pried open his restless love. Soo-yeon had an indescribable feeling all over his body. He always felt that his body was particularly hot, but he couldn't tell exactly how it was hot. He couldn't care so much. Soo-yeon plunged into the bathroom. If he didn't use cold water to cool down the boiling feeling on his body, he was afraid that he would really do something irrational. He didn't even take off his clothes and washed himself thoroughly. After finally controlling the messy feeling in his heart, Soo-yeon turned off the tap. I won't help you bring your clothes in. There's a bath towel in the bathroom. You can change after you wipe yourself clean. Wan Qingshuang's voice sounded from outside. Perhaps she heard the tap stop and guessed that Soo-yeon had finished bathing. Little did she know that Soo-yeon had just taken off his wet clothes and washed them himself. He used soap to wash off his sweat. After drying his hair, he wrapped a bath towel around himself and walked out of the bathroom. What are you doing? Why are you so slow? Wan Qingshuang said as she walked up and pointed at the two pieces of Soo-yeon's clothes on the bed. I brought your clothes. Change into them. I'll help you wash them. Before Soo-yeon could explain, Wan Qingshuang walked in. When she saw that Soo-yeon had finished washing the clothes, she was a little angry. Didn't I say that I'll help you wash them? Can't you have a good rest? Soo-yeon grinned. Sister Shuang, I'm fine. I'm still quite energetic. You're making me embarrassed. You don't have to be so polite with me. Wan Qingshuang asked. Soo-yeon, I've always wanted to ask you something, but I never had the chance. Today, I want to ask you. I hope you can answer truthfully. Yes, I'll answer truthfully. Soo-yeon nodded. In your heart, who am I to you? This question really stumped Soo-yeon. Soo-yeon was stunned for a long time and didn't know how to answer. Wan Qingshuang could see that he was facing this question seriously. It was enough to have Soo-yeon's serious attitude. Wan Qingshuang didn't ask for much. She quietly waited for Soo-yeon's answer. However, 5 minutes had passed, and Soo-yeon still didn't say anything. Soo-yeon admitted that he really didn't learn Chinese well. It couldn't be helped. When he was young, Chinese was taught by a martial arts teacher. It was already very good to be able to speak and write. Forget it. Haha, I'm just asking casually. Wan Qingshuang finally chose to let Soo-yeon go. She knew that if it were her, it would also be difficult for her to answer this kind of question. After all, she had already mustered up a lot of courage to ask this question. Soo-yeon suddenly took a deep breath and hugged Wan Qingshuang from behind. Soo-yeon's action made Wan Qingshuang's brain fill with blood instantly, and she almost fainted. Soo-yeon was also surprised by his own actions. However, since he had already done it, he might as well muster up the courage to do it in one breath. Sister Shuang, you are very important to me. I don't know how to describe it, and I don't know if I should say you are my... Soo-yeon stuttered. I just want to say that even in the days when I leave Hudong, I will still think of you and Guogua in my heart. I will be worried about you, and I will hope to come back and see you sooner. Just as Soo-yeon was about to awkwardly confess his feelings for the first time, Guogua inexplicably opened the door and walked in. Guogua saw the two hugging each other. Naturally, it was very awkward. Before Guogua could open her mouth, Wan Qingshuang broke free from Soo-yeon's arms and stepped forward to explain. Guogua, just now mommy was... I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything. Guogua played dumb and said, that. Mommy, I forgot to take my xiaohuang. Without it, I can't sleep. As she spoke, Guogua rushed over to pick up Xiaohuang's doll, secretly giving Soo-yeon an apologetic look. She really regretted coming in and bumping into this scene. No matter what other people thought, Guogua was looking forward to seeing some sparks between Soo-yeon and Wan Qingshuang. This was probably the gossip that this girl wanted to see the most. Before leaving, Guogua even bowed. I'm really sorry to disturb you. Please continue. Hee mommy, in the future, I can sleep with Cho Yun Jiejia. No, if necessary. I think I'm a big child and should sleep by myself. Can you ask Daddy to give me the house? Guogua's words made the two blush. Guogua, be careful not to spank your butt if you talk nonsense again. Wan Qingshuang said with a red face. Aya, you're not children anymore. What's there to be embarrassed about? Guogua was very generous. What era are we living in? There are so many unmarried people living together. Isn't it popular to try marriage? Just think of it as a trial marriage. I don't mind you guys dating. Why are you so restrained? Wan Qingshuang was speechless. She really didn't dare to talk to this little girl. She couldn't win an argument. There was really no way to communicate. The generation gap was too big. Su Yun's head hurt. How was he going to face this demon in the future? She would probably have something on him for a long time. Just thinking about it gave him a headache. Sigh, he didn't know if he was lucky or unlucky to have such a beautiful daughter in this life. Oh right. Remember to lock the door before doing such intimate things next time. Guogua had already walked out, and came back to remind the two of them. Then, she helped the two of them to lock the door before bringing the two of them in. With a click, Su Yun and Wan Qingshuang were locked in the same room. However, the charming atmosphere just now had been disturbed by Guogua. The two of them were angry and amused at the same time. Their expressions were extremely helpless, especially Wan Qingshuang. She didn't know how to face Su Yun. It seemed that she was too forward just now. Thinking of this, she was so embarrassed that her face turned red. Su Yun also shook his head helplessly. Sister Shuang, I think I'll sleep on the sofa today. Chapter 455. After being disturbed by Guogua, Su Yun suddenly thought of what Yu Marin had told him about the Zahoya people. When Guogua walked past him, Su Yun saw the round stone pendant on her chest. Could that thing be the legendary Pabo jade? Sister Shuang, you go to sleep first. I have something to talk to Cho Yun about. Su Yun got up and said, Don't worry, I promise I won't sleep on that bed without a mattress. I'll be back in a while, and I'll definitely sleep well. I promise I'll complete the task you gave me, which is to rest well. You've been tired all day, so take the time to rest. And you go. Wan Qingshuang was thinking about how to find a chance to take a shower. Now that Su Yun said he was going out, it gave her a chance. Otherwise, if Su Yun was in her room, she would be embarrassed to go to the bathroom. Although they were separated by a room and nothing could be seen, even if Su Yun heard it, she would still feel embarrassed. When Su Yun came to Cho Yun's room, Guogua was vividly telling Cho Yun what she had just seen. Cho Yun shook her head helplessly. Even if she didn't want to listen, she could only bite the bullet and follow Guogua. If this girl didn't spit it out quickly, she definitely wouldn't be able to sleep at night. Why are you here? When she opened the door and saw Su Yun, Cho Yun was really surprised. She always thought that Su Yun should have a lot to say to Wan Qingshuang. Why did he suddenly come to her place? Su Yun said as he entered the room. There's something I want to talk to you about Guogua. About Guogua? Cho Yun didn't understand Su Yun's meaning. Don't tell me you want to send me and Guogua back to Swan? Of course not. I don't want to, Su Yun said. Who would be able to have such an obedient and enchanting daughter at my age? If you want to take Guogua away, I won't be willing. And there's something I have to confirm. If it's true, I can't let you and Guogua leave my side. Although Su Yun's words were not a promise of love, Cho Yun still felt warm in her heart. After a moment of shyness, she realized that these were not words of love, and her expression returned to normal. When Guogua saw Su Yun coming here, her face was filled with disappointment. No one knew what she was thinking. Guogua let out a long sigh. Disappointment was written all over her face. It's only been a few minutes, and he came to our room. He must not have pushed her down again. Sigh, I'm completely speechless. Do I have to talk about such a small matter? Looking at this little adult sighing, Su Yunjin really wanted to bang her head against the wall and die. She really didn't want to live anymore. Cho Yun shrugged her shoulders and used her body language to tell Su Yun that it was best not to take Guogua seriously. If he continued to talk like this, she would definitely bring him into a mentally chaotic world. Let her be. She'll talk about her, you can talk about yours. Just don't talk to her on the same frequency. Su-Yun sat next to Guogua and motioned for Cho-Yun to sit down as well. Guogua looked at the two adults who sandwiched her in the middle warily. What are you doing? Can you take this thing off and let me see it? Su-Yun pointed at the round stone pendant on Guogua's chest. Guogua and Cho-Yun shook their heads almost at the same time. No, this thing can't be taken off. No one can. My grandfather, Feng Qiansui, specially instructed that no one can take it off and see it. Sure enough, this thing was very important to Guogua, to the Feng family, and to the Zixahoya people. This thing is called Pabo Jade, right? Su-Yun did not insist and asked lightly. How did you know? Guogua's eyes widened. Dad, my grandfather said that no one can recognize this thing. How did you recognize it? Obviously, Cho-Yun's expression was very confused. Even she did not know that this thing was Pabo Jade. She only knew that this small stone pendant was very important to Guogua and the Feng family, but she did not hear Feng Qiansui say that this thing was actually jade. Su-Yun nodded. Guogua, this thing you're wearing is very, very important, but in the future, you must never admit that this thing is Pabo Jade in front of anyone. If anyone asks, you can say that this is a small stone that I picked up from the beach and polished into a pendant. Guogua nodded obediently. What is this? Cho-Yun looked at Su-Yun in confusion. How do you know that this small stone pendant is so important to Guogua? Su-Yun, do you know something? Su-Yun did not deny. I do know something that even I can't believe. Cho-Yun, but the fewer people who know about this, the better. If I'm not wrong, Feng Qiansui has never told you this secret, so it's better that you don't know. Take good care of Guogua, and I will let this secret sink into the sea forever. After Su-Yun left, Cho-Yun's curiosity disturbed her again and again, but she finally restrained herself. Some things were indeed like this. The fewer people who knew about it, the better. Even Guogua herself did not know her identity, let alone the secret of the stone pendant. But the stone pendant was more important to Guogua than anything else, because this thing was the source of all her energy. Without the stone pendant, the energy produced in her body that could be absorbed by the invisible masters would not be produced, and she would be sucked dry. When he returned to Ruan Qingshuang's room again, Su-Yun found that Ruan Qingshuang had already fallen asleep on the sofa in her pajamas. There was a faint fragrance on her body, the smell of having just taken a shower. Looking at the big bed, Su-Yun smiled gratefully. Ruan Qingshuang was always concerned about whether Su-Yun was tired or not, but in fact, she was very tired herself. And when Su-Yun was not here, she almost did not have a good rest, because she would be worried, she would let her imagination run wild, and she would not sleep well. This was the reason why she was able to fall asleep so quickly when Su-Yun appeared. Even though she was on the sofa, she quickly fell asleep because she was really too tired. Looking at Ruan Qingshuang on the sofa, Su-Yun had an inexplicable heartache. Even if she was so tired, both physically and mentally, and could fall asleep so easily on the sofa, she still insisted on leaving the bed for him. This kind of feeling could not be described with words. Su-Yun felt that he had never given Ruan Qingshuang anything. In terms of care and care, it was always Ruan Qingshuang who gave him more than he gave her. Su-Yun gently bent down and held Ruan Qingshuang's back with one hand and her legs with the other. Gently and slowly, he lifted her up and then placed her on the bed unhurriedly. Such a big bed. It should be easy for two people to sleep on. Why did you still sleep on the sofa like a fool? Su-Yun whispered to himself. Sister Shuang, thank you for giving me so much care and care. I can't give you anything, but you are still so selfless to me. The moment Su-Yun lay on the bed, Ruan Qingshuang's closed eyes flickered and fell on the pillow. No one knew if Ruan Qingshuang was asleep or not. But Ruan Qingshuang knew that Su-Yun was definitely not as ungrateful as he said. He gave her too much. If it were not for Su-Yun, it was hard for her to imagine if she could still stay in Hudong City. Maybe she would have been pestered by the hateful LV Bao, or maybe the shop would have been taken back by Jin Biao and his wife, and she would have been living on the streets. If Ruan Qingshuang was alone, she might not feel so bad. But at that time, what would Guogua do? Not to mention the problem of Guogua going to school. She was afraid that Guogua would have to live on the streets with her. Thinking of that picture, Wan Qingshuang could not help but cry again. Fortunately, God always has a good reward for good people. Su Yin was like an angel arranged by the heavens to be by their side. Thinking of this, Wan Qingshuang could not help but open her eyes and turn her head. She wanted to see the angel sent by God. At this time, Su Yin had already fallen asleep. He fell asleep very quickly, especially when he could completely relax his mind. The tiredness that had accumulated over the past few days completely broke out. So he slept very soundly, very soundly. With Wan Qingshuang by his side, Su Yin felt very at ease. This was the most peaceful and relaxing night he had had in so many days. Accompanied by the morning sun, when Su Yin woke up, Wan Qingshuang was no longer in the room. Last night, because of Chang's matter, Wan Qingshuang could not properly welcome Su Yin, so she prepared a sumptuous breakfast early in the morning. Even Guogua complained that her mother was biased. After they had breakfast, Cho Yun took Guogua to school. Although there were spare cars in the shop now, they could freely use the Buick minivan and Golf R, and Su Yin also brought back a Porsche Cayenne. But Cho Yun still insisted on her way. As long as the weather was sunny and there was no rain, she had to let Guogua walk to school. Life was about exercise. This saying was not wrong at all. If people did not exercise, their genes would change along with their laziness, and it would lead to degeneration. Just like in the movie Robot Wars, humans had degenerated into fatties who couldn't even get up after falling down during the 700 years they had spent on spaceships. This was not an exaggeration. One day, when you didn't even need to wash your face, brush your teeth, or even take a dump yourself, all you had to do was snap your fingers and shout, and a robot would do it for you. You would definitely degenerate into a useless person. After watching Cho Yun and Guogua leave, Wan Qingshuang smiled. You should go too. Go to the artificial river, and take a look. Tang Jiu has been very active recently. I told her to stay here at night, but she insisted on staying in an express hotel on the other side of the artificial river. She said it was convenient for her to discuss some shortcomings with the engineers and designers at night. You should go and persuade her. Maybe your words will be more useful than ours. It's more comfortable to stay at home. Okay. Su Yin nodded. He was now driving from the hotel. It was the morning rush hour. When he arrived at the destination, the construction site workers would have already started working. Sister Shuang, I'll go first. Wan Qingshuang was about to give the car key to Su Yin, but Su Yin shook the key in his hand and said, I have it here. Without waiting for Wan Qingshuang to ask where he got the car, Su Yin drove away. Looking at the back of the car leaving, Wan Qingshuang said to Dan Jiahao, who was standing beside her to send Su Yin off, Is this the Harvard something 6? Usually there are a lot of white cars on the road. This black car looks quite good. It has a different feeling from those white cars. A car worth more than 100,000 yuan is really worth it. Chapter 456. Hudong City's artificial river was at the edge of Nanqing District. Beyond the river was the town. The artificial river was Hudong City's pride project. After all, it was only 3 to 5 miles away from the Nanqing Expressway. Most cars that got off the expressway from Hudong City would pass by this place. That was why Qin Zhongming attached so much importance to this project. When Su Yin drove to 200 meters away from the construction site headquarters, he began to feel that something was wrong. 5 or 6 cars blocked the entrance of the headquarters, and there were several young men standing next to each car. At a glance, he knew that they were not the good-tempered kind. At the entrance of the building, Tang Jiu's face darkened. She did not expect this job to be so difficult. At first, Lu Feng and the others did not cause any trouble. It was as if everyone knew that Lu Feng was not to be messed with in Hudong City. Yesterday, all the river work was finished. Lu Feng had left with his men. They had just left on the first day, and on the second day, an unknown person came begging for food. Tang Jiu simply could not suppress the anger in his heart. After these days, Tang Jiu had matured a lot. She knew that sometimes, throwing a tantrum could not solve problems. Problems needed to be dealt with patiently. No matter who the other party was or what kind of trouble they caused, She only needed to solve it with the least amount of loss. There was no point in getting angry. That was just a stupid way of punishing yourself with other people's mistakes. Oh, I didn't expect the responsible boss Tang to be a girl. The leader of the other party was a tattoo maniac. Tang Jiu did not know what he had tattooed under his clothes, but his exposed skin, whether it was his neck, wrists, or fingers, were all covered in tattoos. From afar, he looked like green maggots crawling all over his body. Su Yin could accept simple tattoos or tattoos as status symbols. However, Su Yin could not accept these people who pushed the limits of the human body. They had tattooed themselves like green rice dumplings. There was no beauty in it. If they wanted people to turn their heads, they might as well tattoo a pile of feces on their backs. They would definitely turn their heads. What do you want? Say it. Tang Jiu was not angered by their provocation. My time is tight. Don't waste my time. Haha, Boss Tang is a straightforward person. I didn't expect you to be more straightforward than a man. Alright, I won't beat around the bush with you. The tattooed man smiled. If you say we're here for money, you're calling us robbers. We're not robbers. We're here to do business. We're all in the construction business, so we understand each other. It's almost the end of the year, and everyone wants to make more money. Tang Jiu snorted. You want a job, don't you? The tattooed man clapped his hands and said, Beautiful. Boss Tang was indeed a smart man. Our boss likes to work with smart people. If you think it's okay, Boss Tang, let's make an appointment. Our boss has booked a place, and we invite you to have a seat together. I'm sorry, but I don't need anyone else to do my project. Tang Jiu spoke indifferently. I have my own engineering team. I have my own manpower. Not to mention you guys, even the local Lu Feng only contracted me to deal with and repair the river here. As for the construction of the artificial river commercial street, I will not outsource anything. The tattooed man's face turned pale after hearing Tang Jiu's words. Boss Tang, please think carefully before you speak. Tang Jiu resolutely stared at the tattooed man's ferocious eyes and said, I've made it very clear. If you don't understand, then it's your ears that have a problem. Go back and tell your boss to think carefully before you come looking for trouble. Otherwise, you'll die a horrible death. The tattooed man glared at him. Brothers F***ck this guy. While they were talking, the more than 20 people in the cars took out their weapons. All of them were machetes. The tattooed man took a homemade shotgun from one of his men behind him. His face was full of arrogance, and he was extremely arrogant. Sorry, our boss has thought it through. If Boss Tang doesn't give us face today and doesn't want a share of this big project, then don't blame us for being impolite. The tattooed man snorted. Boss Tang, Hedong City is not your territory. We know that you're capable of getting this project, but whether or not you can successfully complete it depends on whether you're more capable. Tang Jiu didn't expect that there would be so much trouble at the construction site. She had always thought that society was too simple. Now, she understood that if you weren't a local tyrant, you had to have the ability to solve any problems. Otherwise, the money earned from the construction site wouldn't even be enough to feed the dogs. Looking at the guns in their hands and the silver machetes, Tang Jiu really wanted to retreat. She really didn't want things to become so messy. A fierce engine roar suddenly erupted behind them. The Black Qian with a 4.8T displacement of 500 horsepower forcefully opened up a bloody path in the middle of several cars, smashing 5 to 6 cars into a mess. Although the front bumper of this Black Qian was also heavily damaged, the fate of the other cars was even more tragic. Some of them had their rear bumpers knocked off, some had their rear view mirrors knocked off, and some had their doors squeezed inwards. It was unknown whether they could still be opened. However, the combined value of those 5 or 6 cars was not as expensive as this one, so everyone's eyes were fixed on the Black Qian that had caused so much trouble. When Tang Jiu saw Su Yin open the door and get out of the car, she felt like God had given her a big magic trick. It was unbelievable. Su Yin. Tang Jiu's exclamation cheered up the tattooed man and the other delinquents. The staff of the Tang group behind Tang Jiu, who had been so scared that their legs were trembling, were now full of energy. They were all rubbing their hands together, ready to fight with the delinquents in front of them. Su Yin chuckled. I realized that I didn't come here in vain. I just got here, and I've already run into trouble. How is it, Tangjio? Is the engineering job hard to do? It's really hard. Looks like I'll have to treat Lu Feng to a meal tomorrow and give him the job of transporting the dregs. At least when he had a job here, these delinquents didn't come looking for trouble. Tangjio shook her head helplessly. Fortunately, she knew the local tyrants of Hudong City and had connections with them. If it had been any other place, she wouldn't have been able to do anything. She would have had to call the police, and if the police didn't care, she would have had to pay to avoid disaster. You don't have to invite him. Just invite me. I'll call him over now. Su Yin smiled. He didn't care about the tattooed man at all. The tattooed man had heard of Su Yun's name and had come to Hudong City to make a living. If he didn't even know the big shots in Hudong City, he would be courting death. Although the tattooed man knew that Su Yin was not someone to be trifled with, he didn't think that Su Yin was taking him seriously. No matter what, the tattooed man still had a homemade shotgun in his hands. The tattooed man couldn't stand Su Yun's contempt. He shouted angrily, "You're Su Yun. Let me tell you, you can look down on me, but you better not look down on my gun." Only then did Su Yun unhurriedly turn his head around. His voice was incomparably contemptuous as he said, "You call that broken toy in your hand a gun?" What did he mean? The tattooed man was stunned. One had to know that guns were very useful most of the time. That was why Huaxia banned guns, but there were still many people who had guns. Especially people like him, no matter what kind of business they were in, as long as they were in society, almost all of them would prepare a gun for themselves. First, they could defend themselves when they were bullied. Second, they could throw it to their underlings to intimidate others. Obviously, this thing was useless in front of Su Yun, especially when Su Yun had just returned from the Golden Triangle. He had thrown the gun in his backpack. This homemade shotgun was nothing to him. Just when the tattooed man didn't understand why Su Yun said that, Su Yun had already opened the back door of the car. He took out an MP5 submachine gun and pulled the trigger without saying a word. Tut 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 tut. Bullets were fired in front of the tattooed man and his underlings. In an instant, more than 20 people began to cover their heads and run away. That was too cruel. He didn't even say a word before shooting. In broad daylight, it was simply, the tattooed man couldn't use words to describe it. Just when this group of people had been shocked by Su Yun threw the MP5 in his hand into the car and said to himself, "This thing is not good. This thing is better." As he spoke, he took out an M16 assault rifle from the car. This time, the tattooed man's jaw almost dropped to the ground. Did this guy bring an arsenal with him? Moreover, the tattooed man had never seen these guns in real life. They could only be used in computer games. He had just returned from the Golden Triangle. These were the weapons that Su Yun and Han Zhan had disarmed. However, he was in a hurry to go back to Hudong to educate Chang, so he forgot to hand over the things in his backpack to Qin Wei and Qin Wan. He wanted to wait for Qin Wan to come back before handing it over. He didn't expect that it would come in handy before he handed it over. Anyway, there was no fixed number of bullets. It didn't matter how many shots were fired. Su Yun didn't care if other people heard him. In a place like the construction site, he could always find an excuse to get away. How about it? Do you want to play the real-life version of CF? Su Yun had an evil smile on his face. "I'll accompany you anytime, but I'm afraid that your gun won't work." The tattooed man softened. He was completely convinced. "Brother, please forgive me." F***CK off. Su Yun gave him a word. "Don't let me see you in Hudong again. Also, before you leave your gun behind." "Brother, you don't like this trash." If I can't take it back, how can I report back?" The tattooed man said awkwardly. "Brother, please give me a way out." Su Yun didn't seem to be joking at all. He glared at him fiercely. "Then leave your finger. You choose." Chapter 457. Just like the tattooed man and the others, Tang Jiu and the group of employees behind her were also dumbfounded. What kind of magic was Su Yun doing? He took out so many guns in the car, and each of them was difficult to buy even on the black market in Huaxia. Su Yun threw the M16 in his hand into the car. These things are not mine. I have to give them to Chinwan or when she comes back. These were found by the police, but they asked me to bring them back. I haven't had the time to give them to the police yet. Don't suspect that I'm an arms dealer. Arms dealers now sell more advanced and high-tech guns. These guns are actually obsolete. Tang Jiu did not believe Su Yun's words. If it was the police, who would dare to fire randomly? Every bullet was recorded, and they had to write a report if they fired a gun. Su Yun had just pulled the trigger and refused to let go. How was he going to explain this to the police later? However, in front of so many people, she naturally would not ask too much. Alright, go do what you're supposed to do. Remember the main idea of last night's meeting. You must ensure the quality of the project. No matter how big the problem is, the quality of the project cannot be affected because of it. If there's something you can't solve, raise it immediately. Tang Jiu ordered the people behind her. After everyone went back to their positions, Tang Jiu said to Su Yun, "When did you come back? Why so suddenly?" "I came back last night." Su Yun, "Didn't Sister Shuang say that you can stay in our hotel? It's not that far, and you can drive there in 20 minutes. Why did you have to stay in this express hotel? Do you feel bad if you don't spend some money every day?" Tang Jiu glared at Su Yun. "Do you think I want to spend money like this? What kind of shitty express hotel is this? There's no hot water after 10 o'clock at night. But if I stay at the Medicinal Cuisine Hotel, what's going on? Sister Shuang will arrange for me to stay in the suite upstairs. That's too inappropriate." "What's inappropriate about it? Don't forget that you bought this hotel. If you don't stay there, Sister Shuang will feel bad." "Su Yun, just take it as doing me a favor, okay? It's a deal. Come back tonight. We're waiting for you to have dinner together." Tang Jiu nodded. Since Su Yun was back, she really wanted to live with them. It would be nice to have someone to talk to when she was free. Looking up at Su Yun's car, Tang Jiu was a little surprised and said, "You're doing well. When did you buy such a good car?" "Good taste, just like my third brother, Tang Xiaofeng." "You like Porsches? Are you praising me or insulting me?" Smiling wryly, Su Yun said, "I don't have that great ability to make a fortune. I'm just opportunistic, reaping without sowing." "Speaking of which, this thing is still stolen goods. Who knows when it will be confiscated? Let's take advantage of the fact that it hasn't been confiscated." Tang Jiu looked at the front bumper that had its paint chipped off and said with heartache, "But you can't be so careless. You're really wasting God's gift. Let's go. I'll take you to the construction site and let you see the final plan. It would be best if you could make some substantial suggestions." Su Yun came here for this. Deference is no substitute for obedience. After walking around the construction site of the artificial river, it was soon noon. Tang Jiu directly invited Su Yun to a small restaurant not far away for a meal. Su Yun also gave some of his own opinions. Although Su Yun didn't understand architectural design and environmental planning, he still gave some suggestions based on some common sense that he had seen. After the meal, Su Yun said that he wanted to go see Tang Jingtian. Tang Jiu originally wanted to go with Su Yun, but then she thought that it would be better if she didn't go. Otherwise, her father wouldn't be able to say something in front of her. After making an appointment to go back to the Medicinal Cuisine Hotel for dinner, Su Yun directly drove away. It was said that plans couldn't keep up with changes. Reality was like this everywhere. Su Yun had just left the construction site of the artificial river when Qin Wan'er called. "You guys didn't come back, did you?" Su Yun said in surprise. "I have said many times that you guys must personally interrogate Yi Fala. She has people in the Shenzhen police station. I want to go back." Qin Wan'er said helplessly. "We have been personally interrogating her. Because of your video evidence, Yi Fala confessed to all her crimes. Her attitude was very good. She said that she was giving you face, so she didn't want to hide anything anymore." Su Yun grinned. "My face is that big? Since she confessed, isn't that a good thing?" But now they encountered a big problem. Although Yi Fala admitted to everything she did, she was unwilling to say anything about the heroin distribution network in her hands. Qin Wan'er said, "According to the information we have, Yi Fala's heroin distribution network covers 6 provinces and regions. The danger is quite big. If we can seize these 6 major routes from her, then we can be considered to have successfully cracked this huge heroin smuggling case. She didn't cooperate? Su Yun was slightly startled. Is it because of loyalty? Qin Wan thought for a moment and said, it can't be said that she didn't cooperate, but it can't be said that she cooperated either. She said that she can tell us everything we want to know, but she can't tell us. She said that she wants to tell you. Unless she sees you, she won't say anything. She said that she only needs you to promise her one condition, and she will tell you everything. Su Yun was dumbfounded. Me? Please, I am not a police officer. I have already done a lot for you guys. Do you still need to interrogate me? What condition are you talking about with me? What if she says that she wants me to sleep with her, and then she tells me everything? Then I have to repay her with my body. You guys are too irresponsible. I definitely won't do this. Qin Wan spat. You wish. I don't care. You have to go back to Xinjiang now. No matter what condition she puts forward, you have to agree to it. As long as she confesses everything, you will have done a great job. You can choose not to do it. No one is forcing you to do it. You have to do it. Sigh. But I am a real person. If I don't do what I promised, then I am a liar. Su Yun said helplessly. Okay, I won't talk to you anymore. Since you said so, then wait for me. I will be there tonight. Sigh, I really owed you in my previous life. That's why I had a good night's sleep. Qin Wan's voice also softened a lot. Ha, I have already called Sister Qing Shuang to ask for leave for you. Hurry up and come. Su Yun gave him a thumbs up from the bottom of her heart. You've really thought it through. After saying this, Su Yun's car had already entered the highway ramp. I won't talk to you anymore. I am on the highway. Good efficiency. I will wait for you. Qin Wan then hung up the phone. Su Yun rushed for a few hours. He had been in contact for many days. As long as he was on the road, it would be at least a few hundred kilometers, and at most a few thousand kilometers. He was now even more tired than a taxi driver. As long as his butt was pressed on the driver's seat, he would not get up for a few hours. Su Yun did not disappoint. He arrived in Xinjiang City before dark. He drove directly to the Xinjiang City police station and called Qin Wan. Qin Wan and Chen Wei immediately rushed out to greet him. When they heard that Su Yun had not even eaten, they immediately took him to eat. Chen Wei still knew how to do things. After all, he was asking for help. Of course, he had to serve Su Yun well. Otherwise, who knew what kind of request Su Yun would make? If Su Yun did not agree, then this matter would be difficult to handle. After a simple meal, Su Yun met Yi Fala again under the lead of Chen Wei and Qin Wan. In the sealed room, Yi Fala smiled slightly. I said that we would meet again soon. It seems that I was right. It has only been a day and a half, and we meet again. Isn't that right? Yi Fala, I don't know what tricks you're trying to play, but let me tell you, you've already confessed everything. Even if you don't confess to the others, you'll still be severely punished. If you confess to the others, you might even be given a lighter sentence. Don't you know such a simple logic? Su Yun. Of course I know. Yi Fala said, but I don't care how heavy my sentence is. Anyway, if it is not an immediate death sentence, it will be a suspended death sentence. Even if I confess everyone and help the police catch everyone, I can only get a life sentence at most. To me, a life sentence is better than death. Since Yi Fala said so, Su Yun really had nothing to say. Okay, what are your conditions? Tell me. What do you want me to help you with? Yi Fala raised his head, his eyes revealing a never-before-seen sincerity. Su Yun, I hope you don't see me as a prisoner now. I hope you see me as your friend. I have sincerely treated you as a friend. You know this. Okay. Su Yun nodded and agreed happily. He was not being perfunctory, he really agreed. I beg you as a friend. I beg you to help me supervise a child. Yi Fala said. He was only 12 years old. I picked him up. His childhood was as miserable as mine. I know that when Shangguan Yudi picked me up that year, I was so happy in my heart, so I picked him up. A long time ago, I transferred Xinkai Hotel and my real estate to him through the transfer of assets. I guarantee that the money was not stolen from drugs. You can confiscate the stolen money. But you can't. Su Yun looked at Yi Fala with some incredulity. She was actually raising a child? That child is very dependent on me, but he is also very difficult to manage. Yi Fala smiled. He will go home tomorrow. I let him go to a completely closed management high school. He will only go home once a month. You have been to my house. In the car I gave you, there is my house key in the storage box in front of the passenger seat. I want you to help me tell him the truth about my current situation. Su Yun fell into silence. For a child, this was definitely a very, very cruel thing. Yi Fala laughed. Right, his name is Bufifan. He is very naughty. But I believe you must have a way to make him listen to you obediently. As long as you promise to supervise him until he becomes an adult, I will tell you everything I know. Why did you choose me? Su Yun said lightly. Because I believe you. Yi Fala smiled bitterly. Even if you lied to me once, I still choose to believe you. Because I know that as long as you promise me, you will not be perfunctory. You will do it. As for others, I don't believe anyone. Chapter 458. For Su Yun, this trust was indeed a bit heavy, but it was a problem that he had to face. Even though Yi Fala's actions were wrong, she had never lied to or used him. Even when she brought him to the Golden Triangle, she was honest with him and tried to persuade him directly instead of choosing to deceive him. Just this point alone made Su Yun owe Yi Fala a favor. He had always been deceiving her. No matter what the purpose was, when he was in contact with Yi Fala, he always played the role of a deceiver, a liar who used the other party's feelings to achieve his own goals. Putting aside morality and law, Su Yun owed her. Since he owed Yi Fala, he had to pay him back. Su Yun wasn't vague about these matters at all. He definitely wouldn't treat Yi Fala differently just because he was a felon. On the other hand, what should be paid back had to be paid back. Therefore, Su Yun had no choice but to agree to Yi Fala's request very seriously. After receiving Su Yun's reply, Yi Fala also kept her promise and finally confessed all the interests related to her. After this interest network was completely revealed, it was really terrifying. There was no lack of officials with important positions. The drug dealers who were in contact with Yi Fala outside of Xinjiang also had connections. The so-called connections were bribed to provide them with convenience, so that they could safely connect with each other, and safely take out the goods. This huge drug network headed by Yi Fala was absolutely shocking. They could stand tall in society because those invisible hands supported them, and gave them all kinds of convenience and help. If one wanted to completely eradicate a criminal network, it was absolutely necessary not only to arrest these people, but also to reshuffle the internal law enforcement. Only by getting rid of the people who embezzled from their own people could the fundamental problem be solved. When Yi Fala handed over the final name list, Su Yun was really shocked. It was definitely a name list that could stun any high-ranking official in Xinjiang City. From the Tax Bureau to the Industry and Commerce Bureau, from the Public Security Bureau to the Municipal Committee, there were people everywhere who had received benefits from Yi Fala. The protection of their interest network was quite huge, and also quite incredible. These people all know what I do, but no one dared to come forward and expose me. Yefera smiled. This is how the world is. As long as there is profit, there will be deception. Perhaps the source of the evil did not originate from me, but from the power. After Emperor Shengguanyu passed away, there would still be all kinds of high officials reaching out to me. If I did not continue to do business with Emperor Shengguanyu, I would not even be able to keep Xingkai Hotel. Sometimes, the solution to a seemingly complicated problem is actually very simple. Cutting off the source of evil was often the easiest way to put an end to evil. Many people could do things without breaking the rules or breaking the law, and still get the benefits and rewards they needed. But one day, they realized that the rewards they received could not even satisfy the needs of those who controlled them. So they began to risk their lives. Not only did it satisfy their own interests, it also satisfied the interests of those who controlled them. This became a crime. These words were thought-provoking and worthy of deep reflection by the people in those departments. Su Yun thought of the particularly expensive items in the supermarket. He often heard the common people say, "Who are you selling such expensive things to?" I don't eat what I buy. I don't buy what I eat. Shinkai Hotel and Villa under Yefra's name had been transferred a long time ago. And these things were indeed not stolen money, so they had no right to confiscate them. When Su Yun came to the villa again, except for the cars in the yard, everything else was still intact. Just as Su Yun was looking around, a flashy orange Lamborghini Gallardo roared, and suddenly stopped at the gate of the villa. The door opened, and a handsome boy got out of the car. Then the flashy orange Lamborghini Gallardo roared and left. The handsome boy saw the gate of the villa open and did not think much. When he walked in, he began to feel that something was wrong. Su Yun stared fixedly at the handsome boy in front of him. He smiled faintly and said nothing. "Who are you?" The boy's tone was obviously not very happy. "Where is Auntie?" Su Yun thought for a while. "Although I want to lie, your auntie told me to tell you everything truthfully. If you want to know, then let's go inside, because it's a long story." "Crazy." The boy snorted, then strode in front of Su Yun and opened the door skillfully. He did not care about Su Yun at all. After entering the house, he closed the door heavily. He did not want to talk to any strangers. He only came home once a month, and he only wanted to see Auntie. In the past, Auntie would wait for him at home every time he came home. This boy was Bufifin, who was mentioned by Yefra. Although he was only a 12-year-old junior high school student, he did not look childish at all. He was already 1.7 meters tall, very handsome and delicate. Just as Bufifin was wondering where Aunt Yi went, Su Yun opened the door and walked in. Bufifin looked at the guy who suddenly walked in with a surprised face, and this guy shook the key in his hand. "Now in this house, I am your guardian, so you better not treat me with this attitude." Su Yun did not hold back. He had already used his initial smile. Obviously, this guy was not friendly at all. "You are Bufifin, right? You cannot be extraordinary, but not in front of me. In front of me, you better be obedient, normal, and ordinary. Because I don't have that much patience." "How do you have the key to my house?" Bufifin glared at him. "Who are you? Where did Auntie go? You asked me these two questions before, and I said I would explain to you. But you didn't listen and shut me out." "Su Yun. So this time, I want to make sure whether you want to listen or not. If you are still like this, then don't blame me for being rude." Bufifin did not disappoint Su Yun. He snorted again. "Then what can you do?" After he finished speaking, he headed upstairs. He was prepared to leave Su Yun hanging. Since he had asked a question, he had to listen to the other person's answer. This was basic courtesy. It seemed that this boy really did not know what etiquette was. Su Yun had already promised Yifala that he would be this boy's guardian, so he had the right to teach him how to behave. Before Bufifin could step onto the stairs, a gust of cold wind hit him from behind, and he fell down. Just as he was about to knock his front teeth off and disfigure his face, the back of his collar was caught by Su Yun. "Impolite children fall easily, so you better be careful when you go upstairs." Su Yun said indifferently, "I won't save you every time. If you fall and get disfigured, don't blame me for not reminding you." Bufifin gritted his teeth and glared at Su Yun. He knew very well that it was this person who did it, but he did not understand how he did it. But Bufifin, who was stubborn since he was young, would not admit defeat so easily. He resolutely slapped away Su Yun's hand that was grabbing his collar, and continued to go upstairs. However, before he could even take a single step forward, he once again felt a burst of pressure behind him, bringing along an air current that surged towards his back. What kind of qigong was this to be able to do this? Fortunately, Bufifin was fully prepared. He supported himself with both hands in time, so he did not fall heavily on his face. "What the hell are you doing?" Bufifin glared at him and said, "I'm telling you, if you dare to tease me again, don't blame Aunt Yi for being rude to you when she comes back. Your Aunt Yi will not come back." Su Yun stopped teasing him. "Boy, listen carefully. I'll only say it once. Don't think too much about where your Auntie Yi went, but I'm sure she won't be coming back. Right now your guardian is me. If it wasn't for your Auntie Yi begging me, you would be an orphan without a guardian. Everything she left you other than this house is Shinkai Hotel. Don't look outside the courtyard. That car is mine, not yours." Bufifin was stunned by Su Yun's words. Su Yun continued, I'm not a patient person. If you don't want to be beaten, you better cooperate with me. I've always been harsh to boys. If you were a girl, I might treat you better. Unfortunately, you were born in the wrong body. Since you're a boy, don't complain in front of me. Do you understand? Why should I listen to you? Bufifen sneered. Why should I believe you? Soo-Yun took out a recording pen from his pocket and threw it on the table. If you want to listen, go back to your room and listen. If you cry, don't let me see or hear it. The thing I hate the most is boys crying in front of me. It's not manly. Boring. Bufifen's face finally showed a trace of panic. He didn't believe anything that this person said. But now he began to feel that this person wasn't joking with him. Moreover, this person definitely wasn't looking for trouble. If he was, then he would have already taken him away. Why would he still be here talking nonsense? As for why Bufifen was not afraid of strangers appearing in his house, it was because the villa surveillance system was very comprehensive. It was not that he had not been kidnapped by Auntie Ye's enemies, but when Auntie Ye was angry, even the leader of the Xinjiang gangsters was dumbfounded. Therefore, Bufifen had nothing to be afraid of since he was young. Moreover, for as long as he could remember, he was a lonely street boy. He picked up garbage and slept under bridges. What had he not experienced? When he was 6 years old, he dared to fight with wild dogs and snatch cigarettes from gangsters 20 years older than him. If Yifala did not take him in at that time, he would have become a street thug. Therefore, the word fear did not exist in Bufifen's world. He was not afraid of anyone. That was why he was able to become a thorn in the side of the school in the first half of the semester. Even the high school students looked at him differently and blacklisted him. Chapter 459. Soo-Yun lit a cigarette in the living room downstairs and smoked slowly. About 15 minutes later, Soo-Yun finished his first cigarette. Just as he lit up his second one, Bufifen walked out of his room. Although he didn't make a sound for the past 15 minutes, it still couldn't hide his slightly red eyes. Soo-Yun was sure that this kid had cried before. Although it was said that men did not easily shed tears, Soo-Yun could still understand this kind of situation. After all, Yifala was the most important person in the world to Bufifen. No matter what Yifala did, it couldn't change the respect Bufifen had for her. You're Soo-Yun? Bufifen walked down the stairs. At the age of 12, there was no trace of childishness on his face. Perhaps it was his childhood experience that made him more knowledgeable than other children. As he asked, he took the box of cigarettes in front of Soo-Yun and lit one skillfully. Soo-Yun nodded and took the cigarette out of his mouth and put it out in the ashtray. Smoking affects brain development. You're not an adult yet. Smoking isn't the right choice. Bufifen didn't care at all. He took another cigarette out of the pack and lit it up. If you're a smoker, then you have no right to talk to me about this. The second-hand smoke you emit is more harmful to my body than the harm it does to my body when I smoke. Besides, I've been picking up cigarette butts on the street since I was 4 or 5 years old. I've been smoking for 7 or 8 years. It's not easy to quit. Soo-Yun was a little surprised that a 12-year-old kid could speak so maturely. It seemed that kids nowadays were really precocious. Soo-Yun put out the cigarette in his mouth and took the cigarette out of Bufifen's mouth. Okay, I won't smoke. You won't smoke either. Now it's fair, right? In order to establish his authority, Soo-Yun had to let him know that his orders couldn't be disobeyed. However, Bufifen was more difficult to control than he thought. He took another cigarette out of the pack. Do you know how much a pack of cigarettes costs? 2,300, which is equivalent to 230 yuan for a box. One tube costs 23 yuan, and the 3 tubes you wasted cost 69 yuan. While speaking, Bufifen had already lit up the 4th cigarette in his hand. I hate it when people waste things. If you want me to acknowledge you as my guardian, then you better not do such wasteful things. I'll light one for each one you snatch. Let's see who can last longer. Soo-Yun didn't take the cigarette from his hand. Instead, he picked up the pack of cigarettes on the table and broke it. Isn't this faster? I don't have time to play with you one by one. As he spoke, Soo-Yun found the pack of cigarettes in the drawer of the coffee table. There were still 7 boxes left. He took out one box and opened it. He poured the cigarettes on the table and broke them off one by one. For Su-Yun, dealing with a child was a piece of cake. If you want to play tough, fine, I'll be tougher than you. If you want to play tough, fine, I'll be tougher than you. Let's see who can last until the end. He didn't believe that he couldn't deal with this 12-year-old kid in front of him. If that was the case, then he, Su-Yun, would have wasted all his years of hard work. Okay, you're good. Bu Fifan stuffed the cigarette in his hand into the ashtray. Su-Yun, although Auntie asked you to be my guardian, she didn't ask me to listen to you and everything. If you're qualified, I'll naturally listen to you. If you're not, then I'm sorry. Su-Yun smiled. Okay, then let's try. Bu Fifan snorted. You didn't pick me up from school today. That's already dereliction of duty. If it wasn't for my friend's driver, who sent his car there, I don't even know who sent me back. Based on your performance today, you're not qualified. 1 point deducted. What the? The Lamborghini Gallardo just now was actually his friend's. Su-Yun was speechless. What kind of school was this? Even a middle school student dared to drive. He wasn't even of age. What was the difference between him and the little tyrant of Haitian silver gun? Underage kids were all spoiled by their families. Second, I didn't even prepare food when I got home. I'm already very hungry, so you still have to deduct 1 point. Bu Fifan continued. Today is my birthday. I'm going to have a party at home tonight. I've already informed all my friends to come here at 8 o'clock. So you have to be responsible for letting them have a good time when they come. Your birthday? Su-Yun was stunned. Bu Fifan nodded. Didn't Auntie tell you? Su-Yun was in disbelief. This guy was a baby that had been left behind. How could he know his birthday? Bu Fifan seemed to have noticed Su-Yun's doubts. He took out a pure steel pendant from his neck. Bu Fifan's name and date of birth were engraved on it. Su-Yun's pupils contracted when he saw the pendant. How could this kid have such a pendant? Su-Yun was a little excited. He even wanted to pull the pendant over and take a closer look. However, Bu Fifan cared a lot about this pendant. He didn't give Su-Yun a chance and stuffed it back into his clothes. Okay. Since it's your birthday, of course I'll agree. Su-Yun. There's still a few hours left. I have plenty of time to prepare. But you have to promise me one thing. Go to Shinkai Hotel. Your Aunt Ye's sudden departure will shake the leadership of Shinkai. At this time, only you can control them because you're the rightful boss of Shinkai. It's up to you whether you have the guts and ability to do so. Bu Fifan snorted. He wasn't afraid at all. Okay, take me there now. I want to see who dares to cause trouble for me after Aunt Ye leaves. His tone was really gutsy. Su-Yun couldn't help but laugh. No wonder Ye Fara valued this kid. He exuded an aura of someone who was destined to succeed. This kid was definitely a good piece of wood to carve. Su-Yun wasn't joking with him. He drove Bu Fifan straight to Shinkai Hotel. After leaving him there, he drove away. Then, Su-Yun found a small company that arranged parties. Bu Fifan wanted to have a party, so Su-Yun gave him one. At the very least, he wanted to let him know that Su-Yun was a straightforward person. If they wanted to have a good relationship in the future, they should be straightforward. Everything could be discussed. It had to be said that the price was high. The total cost of decorating the party and preparing all kinds of drinks made Su-Yun's heart ache. A company was a company. There was strength in numbers. Everything was settled in 2 hours. Following that, Su-Yun rushed to the supermarket without stopping and began a frenzied shopping spree. He couldn't let his guests starve when he was having a meal. How could he just drink and not eat? Su-Yun was really glad that he had good culinary skills. At the very least, he could cook some fancy dishes such as red fish sashimi, baked prawns with herbs and garlic, stewed turtle with seal snake, pan-fried beef slices, Spanish specialties platter. In any case, he tried his best to cook everything that he could. To be honest, Bu Fifan promised Su-Yun that he wouldn't have any extravagant hopes for this party. After dealing with all the miscellaneous matters at Shinkai Hotel, Bu Fifan couldn't contact Su-Yun, so he could only choose to take a taxi home. When the taxi stopped in front of the villa, Bu Fifan wondered if he had come to the wrong place. He couldn't believe that Su-Yun could make the whole house so colorful in such a short time. When he walked into the room, he was even more surprised. Soo-yun not only prepared drinks but also cold food. It was the best birthday party he had ever attended. How was it? Soo-yun asked as he was busy. Are you satisfied? What else could Bufifan say? He finally smiled at Soo-yun and strode upstairs. In fact, Bufifan didn't have the desire to have a birthday party. Although he did inform all his friends, that was under the premise that he didn't know that Aunt Yi had an accident. Now that Aunt Yi was gone, he still insisted on having a birthday party just to make things difficult for this new guardian. But he never thought that Soo-yun would be so loyal to him. He actually prepared such an unforgettable birthday party for him so carefully. Aunt Yi. Bufifan looked out of the window with a blank face and said to himself, I once swore that I would never trust anyone in my life, because even the person who gave birth to me abandoned me and betrayed me. But you changed me. You let me know that there are still people in this world who care about me. You let me know that there are still people in this world who are worthy of my trust. You gave me sunshine. After a long pause, Bufifan continued to talk to himself. But now you want me to trust another person. I'm afraid I can't do it. I don't want a guardian. Before I went to Shinkai Hotel, I always thought that I could handle everything by myself. But after I went there, I realized that I really need someone to help me. Aunt Yi, can this person be trusted? No matter what kind of person Soo-yun was in Bufifan's heart, at least his birthday party was worthy of his trust. Before 8 o'clock in the evening, all kinds of sports cars started to arrive outside the villa. Although none of the children were really 18 years old, and the oldest looked only 15 or 16 years old, they didn't keep a low profile at all. Some of the children who didn't drive their own cars were also sent by all kinds of luxury cars. Soo-yun couldn't believe his eyes. The children in junior high school were actually so well developed. The boys were all more than 165 meters tall and looked very mature. They were either wearing slim suits or slim jackets, and they were all wearing shiny leather shoes. They were very photogenic. The girls were even more unambiguous. Almost none of the girls who could hang out with this group of rich second generations were shorter than 1.7 meters. They were all slender, and their development was even more praiseworthy. Each of them stuck out their small chests, and some of them were even bolder in bib dresses. Their hotness was comparable to that of a porn star. The boys and girls who came in one after another widened their eyes in surprise. They were full of praise for the birthday party prepared by Bufifan. Their behavior also made Soo-yun feel very adult. The boys shook hands and the girls hugged. He didn't know which foreign movies they had learned from. Bufifan seemed to have a lot of influence. Soon everyone arrived. There were 8 boys and 5 girls, a total of 13 people. Including Bufifan and Soo-yun, there were 15 people. Bufifan was very casual. He didn't say any opening words and directly took the lead to drink. Although they were all underage, their alcohol tolerance was not to be underestimated. They had no problem drinking red, white, or yellow. The girls were even more terrifying. After a few glasses, they even dared to flirt with Soo-yun. Chapter 460. Handsome brother, what's your name? Who are you to Bufifan? The girl with long hair was dressed very maturely. It was impossible to tell her age. She had the childishness of a 12 or 13-year-old child, the youthfulness of a 17 or 18-year-old girl, and the sexiness of a 24 or 25-year-old girl. As she spoke, the long-haired girl passed the bottle in her hand to Soo-yun, and lightly clinked it with the bottle in his hand. Soo-yun really didn't expect to be hit on by a little girl. He raised the bottle, and then tilted his head back to take a big gulp. He didn't know if it was because all children of this age had an inexplicable sense of worship. They always felt that people who could drink were very handsome. The way Soo-yun drank whiskey like it was Coke made the girl in front of him gasp in amazement. She also didn't hesitate to take the sky blue Rouet Australian cocktail in her hand, and gulped down half the bottle. I'm his guardian, Soo-yun. Soo-yun smiled slightly. If he was a parent, he definitely wouldn't be a qualified parent. A qualified parent wouldn't let a group of underage children have a party at home, and personally prepare so many kinds of drinks. It was simply indulging the children to be bad. The long-haired girl pursed her lips and smiled. My name is Lena. I'm Bufifin's sister in school. I didn't expect him to have an open-minded guardian like you. No wonder he invited us to have a party at home instead of going to a big KTV room. It's because you support him. I really envy him. You envy him? He has nothing to be envious of. Your family must be very rich. He should envy you. He wanted to ask Lena if she would still be envious of him if she knew about Bufifin's childhood. If she knew why he was Bufifin's guardian, would she still be envious of him? Lena's lips curled up slightly. TSK, my family's money is nothing compared to Auntie. Wait, why are you Bufifin's guardian? Where's Auntie? You all know Yifala? Suyin said lightly. Lena seemed to be surprised that Suyin dared to call Yifala by her name. Of course, how many people in Xinjiang don't know Auntie? Unfortunately, Aunt Yi doesn't know us. If that's the case, do you know Aunt Yi? And you two seem to have a pretty good relationship? Suyin nodded, picked up the bottle of whiskey again and took 2 sips. Of course we know each other. We're friends. Lena looked at Suyin with a smitten expression. So handsome, and Auntie Ye's friend. Nana, are you smitten again? Bufifin suddenly appeared in front of them and said, I have something to say to Suyin in private. Please give us a chance. Lena rolled her eyes at Bufifin, then she got up and left. She could tell that Bufifin was one of the more authoritative figures in the group. At the very least, his words wouldn't be completely useless. After Lena left, Bufifin clinked glasses with Suyin. Similarly, when he saw Suyin drinking the entire bottle of whiskey, he was also very impressed. Suyin, I want to talk to you. Bufifin was obviously a little adult. Since Aunt Yi asked me to listen to you, I think I should try to get in touch with you. No problem. After Suyin drank all the whiskey in the bottle, he picked up another bottle from the table, opened the cork with his mouth, and spat it into the trash can. You can tell me whatever you want to say. Bufifin was much more mature than a 12-year-old, no, a 13-year-old. Seeing Suyin so carefree, he poured himself a full glass and drank half of it. I hope you can help me. Aunt Yi asked me to take care of Xinkai Hotel, but I don't have any management experience at all, and I don't have any social experience. I don't know how to manage a hotel, so I want you to help me. Suyin shook his head. My job is to be her guardian. She didn't ask me to help you take care of the hotel, and I don't have the time. I know that you need to show your sincerity to ask for help. As long as you're willing to help me, I can give you 50% of Xinkai's annual income. Bufifin said, Is my sincerity enough? Based on my understanding of Xinjiang's luxury hotels, Xinkai's annual income is at least 1 billion. After deducting all the expenses and operating costs, it should be at least 80 to 90 million in profit, right? Suyin smiled. I calculated it based on the minimum. Are you willing to give me tens of millions in profit every year? Bufifin nodded firmly. If you don't believe me, we can sign the contract now. I'll put my fingerprint on it, and you'll be the behind-the-scenes boss of Xinkai. Why do you believe me? Suyin really admired this young man's courage. Perhaps even the average adult wouldn't be as courageous as him. He just opened his mouth and gave away tens of millions or even more every year. When this guy grew up, he definitely wouldn't be an ordinary person. Bufifin's answer gave Suyin a headache. Because Aunt Yi trusts you, so I trust you too. It was this damn trust again. If Yifala didn't trust him, he wouldn't be in jail now, and he wouldn't be using tens of millions in profit to ask for his help. I'll think about it. Suyin took big gulps of wine. Bufifin didn't press him. He nodded and stood up to leave. After taking 2 steps, he turned around and smiled at Suyin. I didn't expect you to be so cool. Haha, even our campus belle, Lena, has taken a liking to you. Recently, she's been looking for a man she thinks is qualified to have a one-night stand. She said she can't treat her first time unfairly. Maybe you'll have a chance. F***ck. Suyin directly choked on a mouthful of wine. Children these days really don't take their chastity seriously, right? He wasn't such a casual person. Thank you for giving me a birthday present. After saying that, Bufifin blended back into his group of buddies. It was obvious that his buddies were also very curious about Suyin. However, Bufifin didn't seem to trust Suyin completely, so he didn't introduce Suyin to them. Anyway, Soo-yun wasn't interested in drinking with these guys who were so much younger than him, so he didn't mind drinking alone. However, Bufifan's words just now made him feel very flattered. He really didn't expect that he would become the Prince Charming in the eyes of these young girls. In the next 3 hours, every time Soo-yun saw Lena and the other girls looking at him, he felt goosebumps all over his body. Fortunately, he drank the wine that he opened himself. Otherwise, he was afraid that they would drug him and do him in a daze. The group of young boys and girls drank from 8 o'clock until 1 o'clock in the morning. Everyone's faces were red, and the alcohol made them all a little unsteady. Seeing that it was getting late, Bufifan tactfully asked them to leave. Everyone began to get up. Some took out their car keys, while others helped each other to stand up. Soo-yun smiled and said, "You all drank a lot. Do you want me to call the designated driver company and ask for a few drivers?" The young boy driving the flashy orange Lamborghini Gallardo next to Bufifan laughed out loud. "Bro, you're funny. Looking for a designated driver? Which designated driver would dare to drive my car? You can ask. Ha ha ha, don't worry, we're all fine. This little bit of wine is nothing." "Then let's take a taxi," Soo-yun said. "Give me the keys." "Yo, what's this guy talking about?" The young boy looked back at Bufifan. "Little fan, did your guardian grow up drinking the water of the Pacific Ocean? Why does he care about everything? I don't think he has the right to tell me what to do." Bufifan's face was also quite ugly. "Soo-yun, they're my friends. You can't tell them what to do. If they say they're fine, then they're fine. This little bit of wine is nothing." Soo-yun didn't give in at all. "Either take a taxi, find a designated driver, or stay here." "What's wrong, little fan? The nanny auntie you found for you is too fierce, right? Are you not going to let us go?" Lena smiled beautifully. "If you don't let us go, then where will we sleep, handsome? Hee hee, do you want me to sleep on your bed?" Hearing Lena's teasing, the group of girls laughed even more ostentatiously, causing the young boys to glare at them with jealousy. Soo-yun's face was also filled with helplessness. Young girls nowadays were becoming more and more open. Most people wouldn't be able to control themselves. "Soo-yun, why are you acting like a girl?" Bufifan was a little impatient. "Move. Your friends drove away after drinking at your house. If anything happens to them, do you think you can get away with it?" "Soo-yun, even if their families don't blame you, can you forgive yourself? I always thought that you were more mature than the rest of them, but in fact, you're still a guy with an immature mind." Bufifan bit his lip. "Then what do you want?" As soon as he finished speaking, Soo-yun suddenly moved. He walked in front of the 8 people with exquisite steps. In just a moment, several car keys appeared in his hand. There were Lamborghinis, Porsches, Ferraris, Audis, Mercedes-Benzes. The 8 people who were searched looked at each other and reached into their pockets. Sure enough, the car keys were taken away. They didn't even feel it at all. They only saw a figure flash in front of them. "There are 9 cars outside, and I have 7 keys now," Soo-yun said as he turned to the 5 girls. "There are still 2 car keys. I hope you can take the initiative to hand them over." Shock. Other than shock, there was only more shock. A girl with a ponytail took out her BMW key from her bag and handed it to Soo-yun very cooperatively. She was overwhelmed by the man's imposing manner and chose to be obedient. Lena also took out a black square key from her bag. "I don't want to give it to you. What should I do?" While speaking, Lena pulled open her collar and threw the key in her hand directly into her bra. She looked at Soo-yun with a triumphant expression, as if to say provocatively, "I won." Chapter 461. No one expected Soo-yun to do something that would excite any male animal. Without any hesitation, he stepped forward and reached his hand into Lena's collar. Without any hesitation, he took out the key to the Aston Martin sports car from Lena's collar. Although he did such an amazing thing, Soo-yun did not show any sign of blushing. Instead, he became even more serious, with a righteous look on his face, and said, "I did it for your safety, and you know very well that I didn't touch you at all." Ever since she was a child, Lena had never thought that she would be so embarrassed by a man. In her impression, she had always been the one who teased the boys until they had nowhere to hide. However, This was the first time she had been teased by a boy. This man made her heart beat wildly, and her heart beat wildly. Everyone's eyes were focused on Lena, including Bufifin. He also wanted to know how Miss Lin, who was usually arrogant and domineering in school, would react. No man had ever dared to tease her like this. Bufifin was sure that she would flip out. But the result made Bufifin and the others greatly disappointed. Not only did Lena not fly into a rage, she even said to Su Yun with a cute and lovable look on her face, "You did such a thing to me, you have to be responsible for me. I'm a girl. You did it in front of so many people. Whoa, I didn't touch you. Even if I did, I won't be responsible for you. I'm not interested in little girls." Su Yun. How domineering. Because of Su Yun's rejection, he instantly established an image of a mighty figure in the minds of this group of young boys. Lena was a demoness that none of them could deal with. Other than Bufifin, who she would occasionally listen to, she usually yelled at them and didn't care about anyone else. It was really satisfying to see their school goddess being humiliated. Lena was so angry that her eyes almost popped out. "Su Yun, you can try. Let's see if I can get you. I can be your uncle." Su Yun's words left Lena speechless. "Yi Fala couldn't even get me, let alone you? Do you think it's possible? Oh my God." This sentence caused the hearts of the group of brats to explode. Aunt Yi was a godlike existence in their hearts, a goddess among goddesses. Even Auntie Yi fell for Su Yun's suit? Wasn't this too awesome and domineering? Those kids who were still unhappy with Su Yun just a moment ago were now feeling dispirited from the bottom of their hearts. Lena was completely defeated. She could only call her family and tell them that she had been drinking. She asked them to arrange for a driver to pick her up. Under Lena's lead, the others had no choice but to follow suit. From the looks of it, Su Yun was determined to make things difficult for them. After finally settling this group of brats, Su Yun was finally able to catch his breath. After everyone had left, Bufifin said with some resentment, "You said that Aunt Yi wanted to hit on you. Is that true?" "What, you have a crush on Aunt Yi?" Su Yun glared at Bufifin. "Kid, today is your birthday. I've given you face. From tomorrow onwards, you better be obedient. Yi Fala didn't give you to me to be a sheep. Also, I agree to your conditions. You can leave the management of the hotel to me, but I have to bring my team to participate in the management." Bufifin was stunned. "What do you mean?" "Su Yun, I also have my own hotel in Hudong City. Although it's not even 1/10 of Shinkai's, and the annual income is far less than 1/10 of Shinkai's, I have experience. If you let me manage Shinkai, I will only trust my people. So I'll go back tomorrow to pick up my people." "Okay." Bufifin readily agreed. "Whatever you say." "I'm sleepy. I'm going to sleep. You can do whatever you want. By the way, I'll go back to school tomorrow afternoon. I'll ask my brothers to pick me up. If you bring them here, I won't interview them. I'll leave all the power to you." Su Yun was speechless. "Damn, did I say that I'd let you interview them? I don't think so. You think too highly of yourself." After lying in bed, Su Yun couldn't fall asleep. He didn't know how to tell RuanQingshuang. He did want RuanQingshuang and Guogua to come to Xinjiang. It wasn't because of the huge profits of Xinkai Hotel, but because once Guogua came to Xinjiang, she would have a chance to meet Yumarin. After all, Yumarin and the others would be here for a long time to deal with the nuclear pollution left by Darong Electronics. Plus, they had been in Xinjiang for so long, and they couldn't confirm whether Green Ghost was dead or not. It might be safer to change the environment. However, it was hard to say. After all, once Ruan Qingshuang moved to Xinjiang with Guogua and Chou Yun, it meant that they would be separated from Qin Wan-er and the others. The others were easy to say. The only one that was hard to say goodbye to was Qin Wan-er. After all, Qin Wan-er's job was quite stable. Just as Su Yun was thinking hard and couldn't fall asleep, he received a call from Qin Wan-er. "When you miss someone, she will come." He didn't know if he should tell Qin Wan-er his thoughts first. Just thinking about it made Su Yun feel cruel. It was too unfair to Qin Wan-er because she was also a part of them. "Su Yun, I have something to tell you. I don't know how to solve it." Qin Wan-er's voice sounded very depressed. "I know. You can definitely help me make a choice. Tell me." Su Yin was slightly stunned. What choice was Qin Wan facing? Why was it so hard to make a decision? Qin Wan thought for a while and said slowly, "This time you arrested Yi Fala. With Yi Fala's cooperation, almost all the underground drug chains in the 6 provinces of Huadong were cut off. This credit was supposed to be yours, but you ran away. Director Chen said that if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have helped the police. So he put all the credit on me. Now, because of my outstanding work, after a meeting with the leaders, I am directly appointed as the Deputy Director of the Public Security Bureau in Xinjiang. I am directly at the division level, mainly responsible for anti-drug work. If my work is outstanding, I may be promoted to the Deputy Director level soon. This is a good thing. A promotion." Su Yin smiled. "Do you still need to discuss such a good thing with me?" Qin Wan took a deep breath. "Director Chen also talked to me. If I agree to the transfer, I may become the youngest female officer at the division level. This is a very big opportunity for my career. He hopes that I can seize this opportunity. Although he doesn't want me to leave the Hudong City Police Station. After all, the Xinjiang City Police Station and the Hudong City Police Station are not at the same level. If I come to Xinjiang City to be the deputy director, my rank will be the same as Director Chen's. This must come. There is no choice. Su Yin, some people may not get such an opportunity in their lifetime. If you don't seize it, you may not have another chance." "But I don't want to," Qin Wan said. "I don't want to leave you guys. If I come to Xinjiang, I'm afraid I can't see you guys every day. I can't see Guogua every day. I can't help Sister Frost. I don't know if giving up on you guys for my career is the right choice. If I have to choose, I would rather give up the so-called career and be happy with you guys every day." Su Yin smiled. "Don't worry. No matter where you go, we won't be separated. You just pack up your feelings and take up the position. I will find a way to make them all come to Xinjiang. Do you believe me?" Qin Wan was stunned for a while before she said, "No." "Okay, then let's make a bet. If I can make them all come to Xinjiang, you will treat us to a big meal." Su Yin, "If I can't do it, I will find a way to make you transfer back to Hudong City. What do you think?" "Are you kidding?" Qin Wan confirmed again. "Absolutely not. Tomorrow you will follow Director Chen's arrangement and seize your own opportunity." "Su Yin, do you know why the higher-ups sent you? Because the deputy director was Yi Fala's protection. If it was someone else, it might become a criminal's protection. The higher-ups appointed you because they trust you." Qin Wan smiled bitterly. "But I didn't do all this. It was you. Just like what Director Chen said, if it wasn't for you, do you think I would work for the police?" Su Yin smiled. "I remember when we first met, I told you that the job I hate the most is the police. I will never work for the police, but you are an exception." Thinking of the scene where Qin Wan drank too much because of him, Su Yin couldn't help but feel sorry for her. No matter how strong a girl was, she was still a girl. Qin Wan's voice finally relaxed. "Okay, I will write my report tomorrow. I will wait for you to bring Sister Qing Shuang and the others to Xinjiang. Good night. Go to sleep." After Su Yin hung up the phone, he quickly went to sleep. Otherwise, he wouldn't have the energy to drive back tomorrow. In Hudong City's Medicinal Cuisine Hotel, when Su Yin suggested that everyone move to Xinjiang, Wan Qingshuang couldn't accept it. She had feelings for Hudong City, the Medicinal Cuisine Hotel, and all the restaurants. She couldn't bear to leave suddenly. But she really didn't want Qin Wan to be alone in Xinjiang. Guogua was also a little reluctant. She had already blended in with everyone at school and felt that every day was a happy one. She had never thought that she would have to leave Hudong and go to an unfamiliar city again. Xinjiang was also a big city like Suang. The only thing that comforted Guogua was that if she went to Xinjiang, she would be closer to Suang. Chou Yun didn't have any opinion. She could go anywhere as long as it was good for Guogua. Moreover, Qin Wan had such a high status in Xinjiang. Maybe going to Xinjiang was a good thing. "What about the Medicinal Cuisine Hotel?" Wan Qingshuang said. "Chang has gone to the Drug Rehabilitation Center. Who will take care of this hotel?" Su Yin waved to Dan Jiahao and LV Weni. I will leave this to you too. Can you do it? Don't you always want to make a lot of money to buy a BMW? I will give you this opportunity. Brother, you won't really leave, right? Dan Jiahao didn't look excited at all. I would rather not have a BMW than you all leave. It's not like I won't come back. I didn't say that I would give the hotel to you. Even if I was willing, my daughter wouldn't. Su Yin picked up Guogua and said, You guys run it well. We will collect transfer fees. Although Su Yin wanted to make the atmosphere more lively, it still seemed a little sad in the end. The three tigers of Nanqing knew that Su Yin was moving to Xinjiang, so they all rushed over. It was quite sad for them. Tang Zhou didn't say anything. She didn't belong here. She would support Su Yin wherever he went. Chapter 462. Su Yin drove the Qian and led the way in front. Guogua naturally chose to follow Su Yin. Whether it was in terms of driving skills or the brand of the car, Su Yin was Guogua's first choice. Following closely behind was Chou Yun's Golf R. Ruan Qingshuang chose to share a car with Chou Yun out of consideration for Chou Yun. As for the Buick MPV, they left it at Hudong Hotel. After all, this was their home in their hearts. They first went to Guogua's school to do a simple withdrawal procedure. Then they went to say goodbye to Guogua's class teacher, Su Xiaoran. Then they went straight to the highway and left Hudong City. After rushing all the way to Xinjiang, Su Yin did not go directly to Xingkai Hotel. Instead, he went to Yi Fala's villa first. Guogua was a little surprised. Dad, are we going to live here? That's too exaggerated. Did you buy this? How much money do you have that I don't know? Su Yin bitterly smiled. In Xinjiang, a villa like this definitely wouldn't be worth tens of millions. The only ones who could afford it were those who had been prosperous for a long time, or those who suddenly became rich. It wasn't that there weren't any people who could start from scratch in Xinjiang, but it could be said that there were very few of them. What Su Wenxiang, Ding Li, they were all movie characters. If one had to say that there were fierce people like Du Yuexing and Huang Jinrong who started from scratch, it was because they were in the era of fierce and ruthless people. In today's society, it was not as simple as moving one's mouth to make a living in Xinjiang empty-handed. He did not know why Guogua trusted Su Yin so much. She actually thought that Su Yin could afford a villa in Xinjiang. This is not our house, but we can live here. Su Yin. Other than the room on the easternmost side on the second floor, you can choose any room to be your room. Why not that room? Guogua was at the age when she was rebellious. The more she was not allowed to touch it, the better she would think it was. But I want to stay in the room on the east side. What should I do? Su Yin was really helpless. That room belonged to Bu Fifan. Then he could only wait for the owner of that room to come back and discuss it with him. The room is locked now. None of us can get in. Ever since Ruan Qingshuang moved in, she didn't think that she could live in such a place. Su Yin, this is someone else's house. Did you get their permission to move in? The owner of such a big house must be very rich, right? The owner is a junior high student, just turned 13 years old. I was entrusted to take care of him, so I have the right to live here. He also wants me to help him take care of his hotel. Su Yin said, Then I need your help even more, Sister Shuang. I have no experience in hotel management, but you are different. If you can make the medicinal cuisine hotel flourish, you can also make the Xingkai hotel flourish. The only difference is that you can make the price of the dishes and rooms 10 times more expensive than the medicinal cuisine hotel. Chou Yan frowned. Xingkai Hotel? Su Yin, are you talking about the 5-star Xingkai Hotel in Xinjiang's Bund? Su Yin nodded. Yes, that's the one. Oh my God. What else could Chou Yan say? She thought that when she was about to understand Su Yin would suddenly become more mysterious. Now she had completely given up on studying Su Yin. Su Yin could always do things that made her speechless. Then where should I go to school? Guogua said seriously. Guogua, who had slowly integrated into the campus culture, had already fallen in love with school because there were friends to play with. You can rest assured about this. Su Yin, with your Wan Er Jie as a divisional cadre, how can we not find a school for you? We will definitely let Guogua go to the best school. Maybe by the time you go to university, Your Wan Er Jia will have become a high-ranking official. At that time you can choose from Yinjing University, Huaqing University, and Xinjiang University. Guogua snorted. Then I still want to go. My goal is not Yinjing University or Huaqing University. I want to go to Caltech, Oxford University, or Stanford University. At the very least, I want to go to Harvard or MIT. What Cambridge University, Yale University, those rankings are a bit low. What a lofty ambition. Suyin really blushed with shame. Guogua's goal was to become one of the top 5 universities in the world. This made Suyin feel a sense of sadness. How could a sparrow know the ambitions of a swan? Although Oxford University's tuition is the lowest, only £12,000, I still prefer Caltech or Stanford University because I like California. Guogua said very seriously. That is the most economically developed place in the world. At such a young age, she already had the ambition to control the global economy. She was indeed Suyun's demonic goddaughter. Suyun patted Guogua's little head. Not to mention 12,000, even if it was £120,000, Dad can still afford it. In the future, Xingkai Hotel will be managed by Mom. Every year, 50% of the profits will be kept by Mom. When the time comes, you can even go to the moon to study. Ruan Qingshuang was stunned for a moment. Suyun, what did you just say? Don't joke around. I can't manage a 5-star hotel. Suyun shook his head. I'm not joking. You will manage Xingkai Hotel. Every year, 50% of the profits will be yours. Even if we calculate according to the lowest annual profit, the 50% after tax will be around 40 to 50 million. If you manage it well, you may easily break 100 million. Easily break 100 million. Break 100 million in a year? Ruan Qingshuang's expression froze. This joke was too big. But Suyin had given her too many unbelievable things. He made her understand that there was nothing impossible in the world. When the daily income of the medicinal cuisine restaurant was less than $100, she didn't even dare to think about earning hundreds of thousands in her lifetime. But after coming to the medicinal cuisine restaurant, she earned hundreds of thousands in the first month. I'm not joking, Sister Shuang. This is the condition of the owner of the hotel. He wants me to help him manage it. But I have no experience in management, so I can only ask you to come here. Suyin said. Do you think I asked you to come all the way to Xinjiang from Hudong just to manage a normal restaurant like the medicinal cuisine restaurant? Cho Yun laughed in disbelief. She carried her bag and started to go upstairs. Suyin, you really know how to surprise us. Guogua pounced on Suyin and kissed him. Daddy, I love you so much. You are the best daddy in the world. Hee. Does this mean I can buy a full set of minions? David, Stewart, Tim, Mark, Phil, Jerry, George, Kevin, John. I want them all. Ruan Qingshuang didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She picked up Guogua and said, Mommy can give you the minions slowly, but your priority now is to choose a house. You guys choose a house first. I have to go pick up an important person. Suyin said, Remember to pick a room for me too. Don't worry, Daddy. Leave it to me. Guogua promised. There were 8 bedrooms upstairs, so there was a lot of room to choose. She only needed to think about whether to choose a room opposite her mother's, or a room next to her mother's for her father. This was really a dilemma. Ruan Qingshuang and Cho Yun both thought that Suyin was going to pick up the owner of the house. In other words, the legendary 13-year-old first-year junior high student. But Suyin was indeed picking up someone they didn't expect at all. Suyin parked his car in front of the Xinjiang police station. He was bored to death listening to music. It was already 5:30 p.m., and it was almost time to get off work. Soon, Suyin saw a familiar figure striding out. He forgot that he was in front of the police station, and honked 3 times. Qin Weiner saw Suyin waving at her from the car window, and was dumbfounded. She really didn't expect that Suyin would appear in front of her at this time. Because they were in front of the police station, Qin Weiner quickly opened the door and got in the car. She signaled Suyin to quickly close the window and drive away. After all, she was now the deputy director of the Xinjiang police station. She had to be more careful. Suyin drove directly to the villa. Qin Weiner was stunned. Where are you taking me? Didn't you promise me that you would bring Sister Qing Shuang and the others to Xinjiang? Don't tell me you can't do it and want me to go back to Hedong with you? I can't just leave like that. I have to apply for a transfer. If it's not approved, I'll be in trouble. Where do you live when you work here? Suyin didn't answer Qin Weiner's question. He directly changed the topic. The city has arranged a temporary rental apartment. I haven't thought about where to live. I don't have so much money to buy a house in Xinjiang. Qin Weiner said, Hey, if you want to go to my house, I don't know how to get there. I only know that it's not far by subway. I haven't walked on the road above. Suyin shook his head. You're a divisional leader. You still want to rent a house? People will laugh at you if they know about it. Well, I happen to have a friend who doesn't want to live in his house. You can live there in the future. It's spacious, 2 floors, 8 bedrooms, and a courtyard. Suyin, are you crazy? You arranged a place for me to live? How far is that? I'm going to rent a house close to my work. Qin Weiner frowned. Don't make trouble for me. Who's making trouble for you? I've prepared a car for you. You don't have to run to and from work. Do you know how much the rent near your work is? An ordinary 2-bedroom apartment is at least 60,000 yuan, right? Suyun's calculation was very clear. How much do you earn as a divisional-level national cadre? Is it enough for the rent? You don't eat, drink, or buy daily necessities. Qin Weiner really didn't think so much. Suyun's words made her dumbfounded. Soon Suyin returned to the villa again. Qin Weiner recognized at a glance that it was Yi Fala's villa. Of course, she also knew that Yi Fala had already transferred the property. She asked in surprise, Did Yi Fala give her house to you? Suyin smiled helplessly. I can't accept it. When the car drove into the courtyard, Qin Weiner almost screamed. Didn't they buy the golf car together in Hedong? When did they come here? Qin Weiner suddenly realized. Sister Qing Shuang and the others are here? Suyin nodded. Of course. I said that I'll let them come, so I'll definitely do it. You can live here in the future. I also drove the car for you. There's a subway station 300 meters away. It's very convenient for you to go to work. Chapter 463. Ruan Qingshuang promised Su Yun that she would be the CEO of Xinkai Hotel tomorrow. Qin Wan also promised Su Yun that she would find someone to inquire about the schools in Xinjiang and solve the problem of Guogua going to school. Even if Su Yun didn't ask, Cho Yun would naturally be responsible for Guogua's safety, so there was no need for Su Yun to say more. Life didn't stop because of their changes, and they still had to live one day at a time. After everything was on the right track, Su Yun took Ruan Qingshuang to Xinkai Hotel the next day to report. Cho Yun and Guogua naturally went with them. Qin Wanner had just been promoted to a new position, so it was inconvenient for her to ask for leave immediately, so she couldn't go with them. When Ruan Qingshuang walked out of the Qian, she suddenly felt that her breathing stopped. To be honest, she couldn't believe everything in front of her eyes. This Xinkai Hotel, with almost 100 floors, was more than 10 grades higher than the Medicinal Cuisine Hotel in Hedong City. It could be said that it was 30 or even 50 grades higher than the Medicinal Cuisine Hotel in Hedong City. God, Su Yun actually asked her to manage such a big 5-star hotel. Didn't he think too highly of her? Ruan Qingshuang's lack of confidence made her want to retreat. She was really afraid that she couldn't handle it. Guogua saw Ruan Qingshuang's expression and knew what she was thinking. She smiled smartly and said, Mom, do you remember when you stood in front of the Medicinal Cuisine Hotel for the first time? You had the same expression. What were you thinking at that time? I was thinking that I definitely couldn't handle it. I was just running a small medicinal cuisine restaurant, and it wasn't doing well. Ruan Qingshuang took a deep breath and said, I can't imagine. Cho Yun said, Sister Qingshuang, you ran the Medicinal Cuisine Hotel well, and the Medicinal Cuisine Hot Pot that you launched instantly became the most popular winter food in Hedong City. Actually, you have the ability to control a big hotel. Su Yun believes in you, and so does Guogua. We all believe that you can do it. If you can make the Medicinal Cuisine Hotel well, you can also make the Xinkai Hotel well. Su Yun nodded as well. That's right, Sister Shuang. Nowadays, the richer the person, the more particular they are. As far as I know, there isn't a single big hotel that uses medicinal cuisine as their main menu. All the high-class hotels are mainly promoting delicacies like French cuisine, Italian cuisine, Thai cuisine, Japanese cuisine, Korean cuisine, and so on. Xingkai Hotel can definitely innovate and expand the Chinese cuisine and strengthen the traditional medicinal cuisine. Rich people can find a different taste in these high-end hotels. Bingo! Guogua reached out and snapped her fingers. You can do it, Mom. We believe you can do it. You can do it. Ruan Qingshuang finally built up her confidence with everyone's encouragement. She nodded heavily and walked into the Xingkai Hotel resolutely. Su Yin and Chou Yin stood on the left and right like bodyguards. Guogua, on the other hand, had completely regarded the building as her own property. She greeted the security guard on duty and the waiter in the front hall with familiarity. Under Su Yun's lead, they quickly arrived at the general manager's office on the 6th floor. Ruan Qingshuang pushed the door and entered. There were people in the room, and not just one person. There were more than a dozen men and women, chatting happily. They didn't feel uneasy or gloomy because of Yi Farah's arrest at all. Ruan Qingshuang didn't know if it was because there were so many people, but she seemed a little restrained. She didn't know what to say for a moment. Su Yin let Fifan gather these people for him. He didn't tell Ruan Qingshuang before coming because he was afraid that she would feel pressured. But she really didn't expect that this group of department managers really didn't treat her as an outsider. Especially the fat man sitting in front of the general manager's desk. He looked at ease and drank tea leisurely. Get up. Su Yin scolded and didn't give the fat man any face. That's not your position. If you don't want to work, get out. The fat man sitting in front of the general manager's desk was stunned. He Go Qingjun was the head of the hotel's administrative office. In this hotel, except for the general manager, everyone had to respect him. Suddenly being reprimanded by an unknown brat, he couldn't bear to lose face. Who are you? Who are you talking to? Is Manager Go someone you can shout at? Before Go Qingjun said anything, the burly security chief, Peng Yong, got angry. Don't blame me for being rude to you if you shout again. Guogua put her hands on her waist and said, Dog manager? Humph, even if you're a cat manager, you can't bark in front of the general manager. When the 7-year-old girl opened her mouth, everyone's eyes turned to Su Yin. Su Yin felt that he had to take a step back and put Ruan Qingshuang in front of everyone. Everyone began to realize the problem now. It turned out that the woman next to them was the main character today. Ruan Qingshuang was a little embarrassed at first, but when she thought of Su Yin and Guogua's support behind her, a confidence rose from her heart. Hello everyone, my name is Ruan Qingshuang. I will be the general manager of Xingkai Hotel from now on. I hope to work happily with everyone, and I hope that everyone will cooperate with me more in the future. When Ruan Qingshuang announced her position, no one reacted. Everyone was still staring at Ruan Qingshuang with arrogance. You want to be the general manager? Gu Yu, the HR manager who was sitting on the sofa in the corner, frowned and said, Who asked you to come? Ruan Qingshuang was stunned for a moment and looked back at Su Yin. She only knew that Su Yin asked her to come, but why did the people here look so unfriendly? No one's face showed any sign of welcome. They all had a sense of hostility. Su Yin did not expect that these people would use this method to show off their power. He said with a cold face, It was Bu Fifan who asked President Ruan to come. Do you have any objections? If you do, call Bu Fifan and ask him what you should do. The hotel used to be managed by President Yi. Now that there's a sudden change, I'm afraid we can't adapt. Gu Yu continued. Obviously, as the manager of the HR department, he was used to getting his approval before anyone could enter the company. Now, without his approval, a beautiful general manager suddenly came in. It was really hard for him to accept. Ruan Qingshuang's beauty also easily attracted the jealousy of the same gender. The manager of the marketing and sales department, Yao Shanshan, looked a little unhappy and said, Yes, we are also human. We need to get used to working together. We are still used to working with President Yi. Now that a manager suddenly came in, we really can't take it. Because Ruan Qingshuang was originally weak, Su Yin had to help her become strong at this time. I won't stop those who want to work with Yi Fala. I believe that each of you have done one or two things that can't be seen. If you really want me to investigate, I can cooperate with you. If you want to be Yi Fala's companion in prison, raise your hand. Everyone looked at each other, not knowing the background of this young man who was stronger than them. Suddenly, the manager of the FMB department, Lu Mingua, recognized Su Yun. He pointed at Su Yun and shouted, "You're the Su Yun who was always with President Yi a while ago? It doesn't matter who I am. The important thing is that you have to recognize the person in front of you." Su Yun pointed at Ruan Qingshuang. "She will be your current general manager. I hope you can cooperate with her well. Otherwise, I won't be as easy to talk to as President Ruan." The head of the security department, Peng Yong, sneered and stepped forward. "Then let me see how difficult it is to talk to you." This was because Peng Yong was not there when Su Yun overthrew a group of Dongying people at the entrance of Xingkai Hotel, so he didn't know Su Yun's skills at all. Relying on the fact that he had practiced for a few years, he suddenly reached out to grab Su Yun's face. This was the eagle claw he was proud of. Just when everyone was ready to see Su Yun make a fool of himself, Su Yun blocked Peng Yong's eagle claw with one hand. Their 5 fingers were interlocked. Su Yun suddenly exerted force. A sharp pain like a needle piercing through the 5 fingers instantly drilled into Peng Yong's heart. The 1.9-meter-tall man knelt down on the ground with a thud. He didn't care about his face at all and begged for mercy. "Ow. Ah. I'm wrong. I'm wrong." Peng Yong was sweating from the pain. Gu Yu and Go Qingjun, who knew their friend well, knew that although Peng Yong was not as powerful as Zhang Fei or as brave as Guan Yu, he was definitely not a coward. His face was so embarrassed. Obviously, Su Yun had completely convinced him. Su Yun heard Peng Yong beg for mercy and quickly let go. "I don't have any other requests. Cooperate well with Ms. Ruan. Everyone will be happy. If anyone wants to find trouble, feel free to come. Let me remind you one last time. Ms. Ruan has a good temper, but it doesn't mean that I have a good temper. Especially towards men, I won't be soft-hearted." Peng Yong hugged his almost broken palm. He was in so much pain that he couldn't say a word. He grimaced and didn't dare to complain at all. Yao Shanshan said coldly, "You're a man and you can't even bear this little pain. Humph, why are you still a security chief? I think you should go home and plant sweet potatoes." Slap. A loud slap landed on Yao Shanshan's face. Cho Yun stood in front of her coldly. "Su Yun doesn't hit women, but it doesn't mean that I don't hit women." Originally, her cold aura was unbearable. Now that she was angry, it made people feel as cold as ice. The feeling that this cold beauty gave people was definitely more terrifying than the feeling that Su Yun gave people. Even more terrifying. Yao Shanshan's mouth trembled. She, who had always been fierce, couldn't say a word. This woman's aura was too cold and ruthless. She really suspected that if she said anything that made her unhappy, she would cut her in half in front of everyone. Ruan Qingshuang saw that Su Yun and Cho Yun were at daggers drawn and quickly stopped them. "Don't be like this in the hotel. We're all on the same side. Don't be like this." Chapter 464. Although there were many difficulties in front of Ruan Qingshuang, Su Yun still believed in her. There was no difficulty that could stop Ruan Qingshuang. No one could predict her strength and persistence. Even Su Yun didn't dare to say that he could be stronger than Ruan Qingshuang. After leaving everything to Ruan Qingshuang, Su Yun left Xingkai Hotel with Cho Yun and Guogua. Qinwaner called and said that she had helped Guogua contact the school through her colleagues. It was the best private school in Shenzhen City. From compulsory education to high school, all the services were integrated. Everything was for the children. After all, Qinwaner was now the deputy director of the Shenzhen police station. There were many people who wanted to curry favor with her. Everyone knew that she could be promoted so quickly at such a young age. In the end, she would become an awesome person who could have a great career. No one dared to say that she didn't have someone above her. Even the director was nice to her. Naturally, the other colleagues were even more flattering to her. Who didn't want to maintain a good relationship with this big backer before she grew up? Even a fool knew that doing a little thing for her at this time was definitely better than flattering her 1,000 times in the future. Now was the time to give face to those who owed her. Therefore, Qinwaner only said one sentence, and immediately someone quickly contacted her. Before Qinwaner could react, someone replied to the letter. Bring the child to enroll at any time. The child can go to class at any time. You don't need to say anything. You must arrange for the child to be in the class with the best teacher. The children in the class are definitely children from rich and noble families. Su Yin agreed with the previous words. However, the children in the rich and noble families were of high quality. Su Yin was a little worried about this. However, Su Yin had enough confidence that no one would bully Guogua. At the same age, Guogua was probably the only one who could bully others. Cho Yun was completely at ease about this. Qinwaner quickly came to pick up Cho Yun and Guogua, and went to school to make arrangements. Su Yin unexpectedly received a call from Feng Ying. Feng Ying had never called him before, so Su Yin felt that there was something fishy going on. He couldn't believe it. Su Yin, I've already heard about Yi Fala's matter. I know that you must have pulled her down. Feng Ying's tone was firm. If you still have the time to care about other people's business, why don't you think of a way to help Sua Meiyan get that piece of land on Guqin Island? If you don't help her, I'm afraid she will really fall out with the other party. Su Yin frowned. What will happen if we fall out? If we fall out, we won't be able to get that piece of land, and all the money we spent before will be completely wasted. Feng Ying said. Su Yin, you said yourself that you will take over Sky Entertainment Group. If you don't step forward at this time, it won't make sense. If you are still in Xinjiang, you can book a flight for 3:30 this afternoon. I will pick you up at Guqin Island Airport. Without giving Su Yin a chance to continue asking, Feng Ying hung up the phone. This time, Su Yin not only didn't have a reason to refuse, but he also didn't have a chance to refuse. Besides, he should have gone to Sua Meiyan to explain the matter between him and Yi Fala. This trip to Guqin Island was certain. After Su Yin returned to the villa, he left a note and left the car and car keys at home. Then, he took a taxi to Xinjiang Airport alone. There was a 3:30 flight to Guqin Island. It seemed that Feng Ying had already checked the route, and was waiting for Su Yin to go. In a luxurious standard room of Hudong City's medicinal cuisine hotel, a man with more stubble than hair looked very serious. He didn't expect such a big change would happen after he had a hangover. The medicinal cuisine hotel actually changed owners without anyone noticing. He still hadn't figured out the matter that Pluto asked him to investigate, and now he couldn't even find the person. How could he report this? Burning with anxiety, he could only ask Miao Dao for help. It was the first time Pluto asked him to do such an important thing, and he actually made a mistake. This was a capital offense. Brother, something happened. The man told Miao Dao as clearly as possible about the medicinal cuisine hotel changing owners in one day. Miao Dao's face instantly changed color. Nonsense, I have reminded you 100 times. This time Pluto asked you to do this, you must be 120% alert. Did you drink again? You bastard. If you anger the Nether King because of this, you will die miserably. Hu Lai, nicknamed the Drunken Saber Immortal, was once a subordinate of the Emperor, Long Huang, just like the executioner Miao Dao. He was Miao Dao's most loyal subordinate. After joining the Netherworld King with him, he had been working under the Netherworld King. Although he usually had nothing to do and drank until he was dead drunk, in terms of strength, he was also a super realm expert like Miao Dao. This time, Pluto arranged for Hu Lai to come to Hudong City to monitor everything because Hu Lai looked inconspicuous. No matter how you looked at him, he was just a dumpling. Moreover, this kind of thing only needed to hide one's strength. There was no need to use too much brain power. But even such a simple thing was still messed up by Hu Lai. Ever since Hu Lai was arranged to investigate in Hudong City, he hadn't seen Su Yin. Therefore, the order he received was to bide his time. This kind of leisurely life naturally made Hu Lai timid. After a few days, he started to live with a hangover. In the end, when he woke up, he couldn't see the little girl's figure anymore. Brother, you must help me. There must be something fishy about this. If the little girl doesn't have a secret, why would she suddenly disappear? Hu Lai said. Brother, do you think it's good for me to explain to Pluto like this? I'll say that the little girl has a secret, so they escaped. This way, I won't have spent so many days monitoring this place for nothing. Pluto might not blame me. Miao Dao snorted coldly. Aren't you too naive? Did he escape? Where did they escape to? Why did I ask you to come here? Isn't it to monitor Su Yun and the little girl? They're gone. You don't even know where they went. What are you doing here? And you said that the little girl has a secret. What secret? What if Pluto asks? What do you say? Although Pluto Lungchen asked Hu Lai to come to Hudong City to observe if the little girl had any secret, he didn't tell Hu Lai what the secret was. If Hu Lai wanted to make up a story, wouldn't it be easier to anger Pluto? I don't care what method you use, find out where they went immediately. Miao Dao said seriously. I can help you, but don't expect me to save you. You can't let Pluto know about this. If Pluto knows that you lost sight of them, then even God can't save you. Hu Lai, let me tell you, you're drunken saber immortal in other people's eyes, but you know very well what you are in Pluto's eyes. It's not like you didn't see what happened to Green Ghost. If you insist on following in his footsteps, I won't stop you. Large beads of sweat appeared on Hu Lai's head. Brother, I'll definitely find a way to find out where they went. You must help me put in a good word in front of Pluto. I swear, before I find them, I won't touch a drop of alcohol. Miao Dao snorted. You know very well what to do. It's very easy to find out where they went. Get close to the people who have been in contact with them before, and use your brain. I'll go do this now. Hu Lai nodded in agreement. After hanging up the phone, Miao Dao's face with 3 scars was covered with haze. This matter wasn't just Hu Lai's matter alone. He really wanted to know what the little girl's secret that Green Ghost mentioned was, and why Pluto Lungchen was so interested in it. Once Hu Lai could get an effective clue, Miao Dao's first task was to kill Su Yun. He couldn't find any information about Su Yun. Just based on this little information, Miao Dao had never underestimated Su Yun. There weren't many people that he couldn't find information about, and this kind of person was often a secret. On the road full of doubts, Miao Dao didn't know what to do to gain Pluto's favor. Ever since he had a falling out with Wang Long Huang, the overlord of Southern Lu, who was known as the Son of Heaven, Wang Long Huang had never had the intention to let him go. Black Tiger Luoxing was also chasing him closely. He could only gain Pluto Lungchen's favor by doing something. Then, once Pluto Lungchen spoke, no matter how powerful Wang Long Huang was, he would have to give Pluto Lungchen some face. He wouldn't have to worry about Luoxing's pursuit anymore. This was the first time Miao Dao and Hu Lai carried out Pluto Lungchen's mission. Maybe it was because they hadn't gained Pluto Lungchen's trust yet, so they didn't know much about what they were doing. They didn't dare to ask too much, afraid that asking too much would bring about unexpected trouble. Since Hu Lai couldn't handle it alone, Miao Dao couldn't sit still anymore. The faster this matter was settled, the more beneficial it would be for them. After thinking about it, he felt that it was necessary for him to personally make a trip to Hudong. Although Luoxing's pursuit of him hadn't stopped, he had to take the risk. Otherwise, staying on Pluto Island would be a waste of his life. Shunjiang flew to Guqin Island for over an hour, so when Su Yun arrived, the sun hadn't set yet. Feng Ying stood at the exit, looking at Su Yun with a smile. You didn't let me down. He couldn't let Sister Feng Ying down. Su Yun smiled. Let's go. I want to see the land that the old man had his eyes on. What kind of feng shui is it? Let's go. You'll know when you see it. Feng Ying led Su Yun out of the airport, and quickly got into Zhuo Meiyan's black Mercedes-Benz. Wu Yuandong smiled at Su Yun in the driver's seat. President Zhuo wanted to come personally, but he was too busy with work, so he couldn't come. Okay, don't be so polite with him. He just didn't want to come because of his face. Feng Ying shook her head helplessly. Su Yun, you have to give her more face later. It's not like you don't know Zhuo Meiyan. Even if she misunderstood you, you embarrassed her in front of so many people that day. I know. Su Yun smiled. Sister Feng Ying, don't worry. No one knows Zhuo Meiyan's temper better than I do. If I don't make her laugh today, I'll change my surname to Zhuo. Actually, it's easy to coax her. I just need to tell a joke. Sister Feng Ying, do you want me to tell you one first? Chapter 465. Since the car that picked up Su Yin at the airport was Zhuo Meiyan's, it was obvious that Zhuo Meiyan already knew that Su Yin was coming this time. But for the sake of face, when Zhuo Meiyan saw Su Yin, she still rolled her eyes as if she didn't see Su Yin. Fengning had to play along with her. She stood aside innocently, as if she had acted on her own initiative to call Su Yin over. Su Yin smiled brightly and walked to Zhuo Meiyan. Are you still angry with me? You don't have to. It's been a few days, and I've been thinking about it for so long. You should give me a chance to admit my mistake. Today, I'm here to ask for punishment. Whip me. With that, Su Yin handed the willow branch that he had broken on the way to Zhuo Meiyan with both hands. Zhuo Meiyan, who was pretending to be angry, didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Zhuo Meiyan really didn't know what to do with him. Su Yin was already so sincere. She couldn't possibly continue to put on airs and go on endlessly, right? Su Yin took the opportunity to put his mouth close to Zhuo Meiyan's ear and said with a smile, "Since you've said so much, if you don't give me a way out, you're forcing me to kneel down and apologize." Zhuo Meiyan glared at Su Yin and whispered, "What nonsense are you talking about? A man has gold under his knees. Even I, a woman, understand such a simple truth. How can you not understand it? Don't joke around. Otherwise, if Mr. Zhang knows, he'll definitely scold me to death." Seeing that Zhuo Meiyan's face finally showed a smile that hadn't been seen for a long time, the people around finally breathed a sigh of relief. In Suang, Zhuo Yeming, who had finally earned enough money to rush back, obviously felt that the show wasn't enough. He muttered, "You've forgiven this guy so quickly? You don't even know how to help your brother vent his anger. F***ck, what kind of brother-in-law is he? He left his brother-in-law in Suang and didn't even care about him. He didn't even give me a toll. I had to wander for so many days. You deserved it." After Zhuo Meiyan made up with Su Yin, she immediately put on a pair of pants and snorted at her brother. "If you want to make money, rely on your own ability, don't rely on others. As I said, if you can settle the matter of the Qingdao Film and Television Plaza, I will immediately give you 100 million yuan and let you go sightseeing. But can you do it?" Zhuo Yeming clicked his tongue. "That old bastard doesn't listen to reason or force. What can I do? Sister, you always make things difficult for me. Alright, since my future brother-in-law is here, let him do it. If he can do it, then I'll admit defeat. Otherwise, you'll have to return the Ferrari to me." Su Yin was stunned. "Are you making a bet with me?" Zhuo Yeming straightened his neck and said, "Yes, let's make a bet. If you can make the secretary of the Quicksand Village hand over the land, I will give you my Ferrari. What do you think?" "I like sports cars, but it's too tiring to drive, so I don't want it." Su Yin shook his head. "S-Class Benz is more comfortable, haha." Zhuo Yeming clicked his tongue. "Sister, did you hear that? We haven't even started yet, and he's already backing out. He doesn't even dare to make a bet with me. If I were you, I would bet your Benz with him. No, don't even mention the Benz, sister. I would bet with your body. If you lose, let him sleep with you. If you win, sleep with him." Zhuo Meiyan directly slapped the back of her brother's head. What is this little bastard talking about? Even the white-lipped Zhu Yeqing, who was always fearless, blushed. Su Yin laughed dryly. "There's no difference in this bet. No matter what, I will be slept with." Thinking of Zhuo Meiyan's slender waist, if she really straddled him, wouldn't he be twisted to death? TSK. It's better not to think too much. Zhuo Meiyan was not interested in Zhuo Yeming's little verbal bet. "Su Yin, whether or not you can get the Quicksand Golden Shore is a test of whether or not you can prove that you have the ability to rise to the top. You know, not only is Guo Chuanjiang waiting to laugh at you, Qin Tianjian and Zhou Buqing are also waiting to hit you when you're down. Apart from us, there are many others who want to take this land. If we can't get this land, you know very well what it will mean." Su Yin nodded. Although the pressure was great, he would never show it on the surface. "Then can you at least give me some information about the current situation? Follow me." The large rock that Zhuo Meiyan had been holding in midair all this time finally fell to the ground. The long-awaited feeling of relaxation caused the complexion of her face to gradually improve. The tiredness of the many days of hard work was completely relaxed at this moment. After hearing the whole story, Su-yin was sure that the most shameless person he had ever met in his life was Guo Chuanjiang. If a person could be so ungrateful, then he really wasn't born from a mother. If Zhang Taisui knew that this guy didn't continue to be loyal to him, and instead became Sky Entertainment's biggest swindler, he would probably jump out of his coffin in anger. Because the Qingdao Film and Television Plaza had always been managed by Guo Chuanjiang, Sky Entertainment had given him the greatest support, allowing him to successfully capture all the interests and hobbies of the Quicksand Village party secretary. Soon he and the party secretary Tai Zhonghua became best buddies. It was because of Guo Chuanjiang and Tai Zhonghua's relationship that Sky Entertainment Group was able to relax. In order to ensure that everything would go smoothly in the future, Zhuo Meiyan asked Guo Chuanjiang to slowly build up their relationship. Guo Chuanjiang guaranteed that the Quicksand Golden Shore was already a cooked duck and would never fly out of Sky Entertainment's hands. Every time Zhuo Meiyan asked him if he had signed the land sale contract, Guo Chuanjiang would always say that urging Tai Zhonghua would make it seem like Sky Entertainment wasn't magnanimous enough. He said that he knew what he was doing. At that time, Zhuo Meiyan didn't think that Guo Chuanjiang had already started to have other ideas. It wasn't that Tai Zhonghua didn't want to sign the land sale contract. Sky Entertainment's conditions were very good. Not only would they arrange housing for every resident of the Quicksand Village, they would also give a very attractive amount of subsidies. As the party secretary, Tai Zhonghua could get even more benefits. Of course he was happy. Guo Chuanjiang, on the other hand, had told Tai Zhonghua something even more heartfelt. He said that it was best to endure it. The longer he endured it, the higher the price Sky Entertainment would offer him, and the greater the benefits he would receive. Therefore, Tai Zhonghua, who had a very good personal relationship with Guo Chuanjiang, signed a private agreement with Guo Chuanjiang. He promised that no matter when the land was sold to any company, it would go through Guo Chuanjiang's hands. This was because Guo Chuanjiang could help them get more. Guo Chuanjiang had also secretly paid Tai Zhonghua 800,000 yuan for this agreement. After receiving Guo Chuanjiang's benefits, Tai Zhonghua bowed down to Guo Chuanjiang. If Guo Chuanjiang didn't let him sign the land sale contract, he wouldn't sign the land sale contract. Sky Entertainment Group had already spent a lot of money on this matter. Now, Guo Chuanjiang was publicly offering a price to the other companies competing for this piece of land. He would let Tai Zhonghua sell the Quicksand Golden Shore to whoever offered him the highest price. After this matter reached Zhuo Meiyan's ears, she searched for Guo Chuanjiang's whereabouts almost every day. When she finally found Guo Chuanjiang said the same thing to her. The highest bidder gets the land. Zhuo Meiyan promised him that he could ask all the other competitors' prices, and then come talk to her. Sky Entertainment would definitely be able to offer a higher price. She didn't expect Guo Chuanjiang to be so greedy. He said that if Zhuo Meiyan was willing to pay 500 million, he would let Tai Zhonghua sell the land to Sky Entertainment. This was a joke. Zhuo Meiyan's budget for this land was less than 3 billion yuan. After deducting the cost of buying the land, settling down the villagers, and giving them subsidies, 3 billion yuan wasn't even enough to cover the cost of the land. Now, she hadn't gotten anything for no reason, and Guo Chuanjiang was asking for 500 million yuan. This was daylight robbery. However, Guo Chuanjiang also said that he knew Tai Zhonghua's trump card. If Zhuo Meiyan didn't meet his conditions, he would find other competitors and reveal Tai Zhonghua's trump card. The other companies only needed to slightly increase the price, and everything Sky Entertainment had done before would be completely wasted. For this land, Zhuo Meiyan had already bought another piece of land and started to build relocation houses. Sky Entertainment wasn't in the real estate business, and they didn't know how to manage real estate. If Tai Zhonghua sold the Quicksand Gold Coast land to someone else, the relocation houses built by Sky Entertainment could only be sold on the market. Although real estate wasn't losing money now, it definitely wasn't as profitable as it used to be. Moreover, the relocation houses built by Sky Entertainment couldn't be compared to large-scale real estate, so the price definitely wouldn't be high. In addition, in recent years, many black-hearted village officials had taken advantage of the relocation of villages to make money. Everyone in the country knew that the quality of relocation houses was far inferior to commercial housing. When the time came, whether or not they could sell was still a question. All these signs had forced Zhuo Meiyan into a desperate situation, where she had to obtain this piece of land. This was also why Feng Ying had taken the initiative to call Su Yun. I just received reliable information that tonight Guo Chuanjiang will take Tai Zhonghua to see Fengde Real Estate's boss, Chen Yazhou. If I'm not wrong, they should be talking about the Quicksand Gold Coast. Zhuo Meiyan frowned and said, Guo Chuanjiang is doing this to give me a warning, to let me know that he's not joking with me. If I don't transfer 500 million to his account as he wants, he'll make an agreement between Tai Zhonghua and Chen Yazhou. Su Yun rubbed his temples and said, Where will they meet tonight? Zhuo Meiyan shook her head and said, I don't know where they'll eat, but one thing I'm sure of is that Guo Chuanjiang has spoiled Tai Zhonghua to a habit. After dinner, they'll go to a large bathing center called the Amazon Rainforest to take a bath. TSK, what bath? Zhuo Yeming spat. They're just going to look for prostitutes. I followed them and found out that Tai Zhonghua is very fond of the twins in the bathing center, number 86 and number 88. Every time he goes there, he'll order number 86 and number 88. If the twins have guests, he's willing to pay the bill for the other guests. Then he'll ask the other guests to pick 3 or even 4. He'll definitely ask number 86 and number 88 to accompany him. Hearing about Tai Zhonghua's hobby, Zhuo Meiyan and Feng Ying couldn't help but frown and feel disgusted. Su Yun still kept his cool and thought, What time do they usually go to the bathing center in the Amazon rainforest? If nothing goes wrong after dinner and drinks, it'll be around 10 o'clock. Zhuo Yeming, who was in charge of supervising them, said, Usually at this time the bathing center dares to let the prostitutes work. It seems that if you go early, you'll have to wait. If you go late, you won't be able to get a job. So they all arrive around 10 o'clock. Su Yun smiled slightly. It seemed that he would have to go there to meet them tonight. Okay, I got it. Well, I didn't have lunch and I'm a little hungry. I wonder if you'll prepare a banquet to welcome me? Chapter 466. At 8:15, Su Yun had already arrived at the Amazon Rainforest Bath Center. The weather was getting colder and colder. Most people who knew how to enjoy life would choose to spend a little money to come out for a steam bath, and a back rub. They would let themselves enjoy a comfortable bath instead of simply taking a shower at home. However, people who enjoyed life like this were a minority after all. Moreover, they wouldn't choose this kind of bath center that looked like a brilliant wall with advertising banners that advertised a special 198 yuan Thai massage. People with discerning eyes knew that this kind of luxurious bath center was doing business under the guise of selling dog meat under the guise of sheep's head. And the people who came here often couldn't just spend 58 yuan to take a bath without any other services. Even workers or students who didn't have much money would at least get a 198 yuan Thai massage. If one didn't spend a few thousand or tens of thousands to entertain customers in this kind of place, it would be a shame to entertain customers. However, it was still early. Most of the people who were willing to spend money here were still drinking on the table. Therefore, the people who came to take a bath at this time were the former type of people, the poor people who were looking for excitement and fun. This kind of place naturally wouldn't serve this kind of people wholeheartedly, because he could only spit out a few bills in his pocket. Therefore, Su Yun only heard 2 greetings of good evening and welcome when he entered the door. After that, no one bothered his ears. After entering the changing room, Su Yun of course changed his clothes step by step and went to take a bath. Since he was already here, if he wanted to dress up and go upstairs to the lounge, he would definitely be mistaken as a plainclothes person, and would definitely be kicked out. After taking a bath, Su Yun also changed into a bathrobe prepared by the bath center, and swaggered upstairs to the lounge. In the dimly lit lounge, there were about 100 casual single electronically controlled beds in about 20 rows. There was a TV in front of each row, but the screen was all the same. It was unknown whether there were too many anti-Japanese dramas nowadays, or the person in charge of this floor had anti-Japanese plots, but the screen was showing anti-Japanese war films. The 8 people were definitely super experts. They rampaged through the rain of bullets and took the enemy's head as easily as fishing in a bag. Mighty my great Huaxia. Su-yin found an empty seat and lay down. Looking at the TV screen, he lamented in his heart that the authors and scriptwriters nowadays were really bad. They were not even as good as the online authors. Anyone who lived through that era knows how ruthless the Japanese were back then. They were all well trained and equipped, much more advanced than us. If the Japanese were really as easy to kill as they were in the TV series, a supporting role could kill thousands of them. Then the War of Resistance against Japan wouldn't have taken 8 years. 2 groups of bandits from the Twin Dragon Mount or Qingfeng camp would have been enough to win the war in 8 days. Back then, the Japanese were as ruthless as they could be. They had all been brainwashed by the King Emperor. A Japanese soldier could carry a gun and grab a handful of rice, and live for more than a week on a tree. This was something that really existed during World War II. A small team of 3 to 5 Japanese soldiers could occupy a county in China. This was also undeniable. Even now, the Japanese still dared to stir up trouble on Turtle Island. Just based on this point alone, one could see how hopeless this democracy was. There were 4 or 5 customers lying in the lounge. Some were doing foot treatments, while others were just lying down and watching TV. Soon a waiter walked up to Su-yin. "Brother, do you want a foot treatment? 128 yuan, free of charge." What did that mean? Su-yin was stunned. It was his first time here, so he really didn't know. Free of charge means that I don't have to pay 58 yuan for a bath? Yes, just 128 yuan for a foot treatment, and you don't have to pay for a bath. It was very cost-effective. After all, the bath center didn't only have to support the ladies. There were also some technicians who sold their skills but not their bodies. Su-yin frowned. Foot massages required one to know the acupoints. Not only would it not help people to rest and relax, it might even cause problems. Can you bear the responsibility? Responsibility? The waiter frowned. Brother, if you don't trust ordinary technicians, we have experienced Chinese medicine here, but the price is slightly higher. 128 yuan is not enough. 268 yuan for a foot massage. 268 yuan for a professional Chinese medicine doctor. 268 yuan? I can find a sister to play with. Su-yin snorted. Forget about the massage. Is there any other service? How much does it cost to have fun? The waiter's face showed a smile. I'm sorry, sir. We are a regular bath center. Except for the professional service, foot treatment or massage, we don't have anything else. Su-yin's face was unhappy. You dare to open a bath center with such little service? Forget it. I'll call you when I think about it. You go first. The waiter bowed and left. Su-yin didn't know if he said something wrong, so he aroused the waiter's suspicion and told him that there was no other service. But then he looked around the hall. It didn't look like a place to do those shameful things. Su-yin was confused. Did he come to the wrong place? But he was sent here by Zui Yeming. Zui Yeming wanted to come up with him to have some fun, but he was transferred back by Zui Meiyan with a phone call. There was no such thing as the beautiful sisters number 86 and number 88. Su-yin racked his brains but still couldn't figure it out. Therefore, he wanted to wait for more guests to come up and see how they made their requests. Then he could learn from them. In the end, the 5 customers who came disappointed Su-yin. All of them asked for a foot treatment, and no one asked for any special service. He waited for more than an hour. It was already past 9:30. Just when Su-yin was about to give up and leave, the waiter who served Su-yin first walked up to Su-yin again. Brother, do you want to find 2 sisters to play with? What was the meaning of this? Why do I suddenly have something to play with? Su-yin pretended to look at the waiter deeply. Brother, are you kidding me? Brother, don't misunderstand. I don't dare. The waiter nodded and bowed. Brother, this is your first time here, right? You don't know. We are very strict here now. We don't dare to do this kind of special service openly. We can only wait until after this time, when our boss can get news from the police about whether there will be a sudden inspection. Only then will we dare to play. It's the end of the year. You know, the inspection is just a formality. It's mainly for the leaders to collect some fees for the new year. Only when you are full can you avoid the inspection. Soo-Yun nodded meaningfully. So according to you, there won't be any inspection tonight? The waiter nodded attentively. Brother, don't worry. Our boss has a strong relationship. As long as he gives us a confirmation, there won't be any problems. You can go up and play without worry. Soo-Yun was really impressed. These people had too many tricks up their sleeves. There was a saying, there are policies at the top, there are countermeasures at the bottom. Things like corruption, dereliction of duty, and so on continued. It wasn't because these officials didn't have the willpower to resist these sugar-coated bullets, but their willpower was really not enough to resist these sugar-coated bullets. The sugar-coated bullets now were different from the sugar-coated bullets in the past. The sugar-coated bullets now were too powerful. They would hit wherever you pointed, hitting the vital parts of these people. If you liked money, then hit him with the money cannon. If you liked women, then hit him with the beauty cannon. If you liked antiques and jade, then hit him with the antique jade cannon. Anyway, no matter what interests or hobbies they had, they would definitely hit him without any discussion. In the end, they would only stop when he became their protection. Soo-Yun was led to a small elevator by the waiter. He pressed the button to open the elevator door, and gestured for Soo-Yun to enter. After Soo-Yun entered the elevator, he stretched out 4 fingers. Soo-Yun knew what he meant, so he directly pressed the button for the 4th floor. The structure of this Amazon rainforest was actually not complicated. The first floor was the bathing area, the first floor was the reception hall, the second floor was the lounge where Soo-Yun was just now, and the third floor was the entertainment area. Every time there was a day worth celebrating, they would invite performances, and there would also be some raffle activities. In fact, it was a form of inducing consumption. As for the shady business, there was definitely some shady business. The 4th floor was obviously a place for the prostitution business. When Soo-Yun walked out of the elevator, he was shocked by the 2 girls wearing bikinis at the entrance of the elevator on the 4th floor. Weren't they wearing too little and too transparent? Words like flirtatious couldn't even describe them. Hello sir, please come in. The 2 of them said in unison. Hearing the sound of welcoming guests at the door, an ant-like manager immediately came up. This position should be called the brothel keeper. The brothel keeper smiled and greeted. Io, your presence brings light to my humble abode. We have never met such a handsome young man in this place. If any girl can get your patronage today, then she is really lucky to have accumulated good karma in her previous life. In this line of work, her mouth was really clever. Soo-Yun didn't doubt at all. If he was a fat pig boss with a big belly, the brothel keeper would still greet him with a smile and say, Io, your presence brings light to my humble abode. We have never met a boss with such an aura like you in this place. If any girl can get your patronage today, then she is really lucky to have accumulated good karma in her previous life. Handsome, what price do you want a girl to accompany you? The brothel keeper said. With your image, you should at least find a girl above the model level. Those rouge girls are definitely not worthy of you. Don't you think so? Soo-Yun hid back a bit, afraid that the brothel keeper's fat body would touch him. I have a hobby. Whether they are beautiful or not, I like 2 together. Io, a pair of swallows, young man's body is so strong. The brothel keeper smiled charmingly. Don't worry, you are the first customer to come up today. I will definitely pick 2 good girls for you. I guarantee that they will serve you until you fly to the 9th heaven. If it's not satisfying, then it's free. Soo-Yun interrupted the brothel keeper's words. I haven't finished yet. It's just that 2 together is not satisfying enough. I want 2 who look the same. The brothel keeper slapped her thigh. Young man, you came to the right place this time. You can go around the whole city. Except for the pair of beautiful sisters in our bathing center, there is no other place. I will arrange it for you right away. You can go to the big bedroom and wait. You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.